right before the zombie outbreak. I hid in a shelter on a desolate mountain and stockpiled a massive amount of supplies. In this life, I am determined to survive until the very end. I woke with a start. The first thing I saw was the news playing on the TV in the living room. Shang-Xia, are you listening to me? An angry shout pulled me back to reality. I looked at everything before me in disbelief. In the old living room, which was over 30 square meters, crowded with the people closest to me. Isn't this the scene from half a month before the apocalypse? Are they here to force me to move out? But clearly, I was just at the eastern base, surrounded by a horde of zombies. Shang-Xia, after your mother passed away, your stepmother has always treated you like her own flesh and blood. Everyone praises her kindness. Now your brother is about to get married. We're just borrowing a little from you. What do you have to be so stingy about? You really are an unfamiliar white-eyed wolf. Grandmother's scolding was cold as ice. Shang-Xia isn't a white-eyed wolf, mother. She will definitely be grateful. The obese woman sitting next to her hypocritically tried to smooth things over. That is my stepmother. Hurry up and move out. Then buy some new furniture. Your brother is getting married. As a younger sister, shouldn't you buy something for him? Hearing this, I suddenly burst into laughter. You want my house? And you want me to pay for new furniture? This is truly ridiculous. What's even more ridiculous is, in my past life, I actually did as they asked. I really treated them as my family. But when the apocalypse struck, to buy time for their escape, they kicked me straight out. They climbed onto the rescue vehicle and left without looking back. In that moment, I truly understood what they called family affection. I stood in front of them, and threw the bag of cheap fruit they had just bought straight into the trash can. Shang-Xia, what are you doing? Those are imported apples your mother bought, especially for you. She said you love apples the most. Why did you throw them away? I sneered. I love apples the most. Why didn't I know about this? What right do you have to talk to me about the house? At this moment, my eyes stared at him, cold as ice. That was the killing intent honed over 10 years of fighting alone in the apocalypse. He didn't dare to look me in the eye. He immediately shrank back. Shang-Xia, what's wrong with you? Sigh, consider it mother begging you. Please help your only brother. When you get married later, everyone will find a way to buy you another one to pay you back. Pay back what? My usually silent father suddenly spoke up. He glared at me. Do you really think this house is yours? What does a girl need a house for? This house is for your brother. When you get married later, tell your husband to buy one. Why are you fighting with your brother? Hearing these words, I couldn't even be bothered to get angry. Because after the apocalypse, I learned that this Hoarding was actually his biological son, raised in the countryside. 2 million. Shang-Xia, what did you say? My father shouted angrily. You plan to sell the house to us? Are you kidding? Besides, where'd we get that much money? Grandmother slapped the armrest of her chair and roared. I'll give you 5 seconds to think. If you don't agree, I'll sell it to someone else. 5. Shang-Xia, we are your elders. And you're talking about money with us? Grandmother was shaking with rage. 4. You ungrateful wretch. See if I don't beat you to death. She pretended to stand up. I looked at her coldly. 2. Don't count anymore. We agree. Lin saw that I was about to make a phone call. She hurriedly agreed. How could I not know her scheme? The market price of this house is 3 million. Buying it for 2 million. She can make $1 million just by flipping it. She was afraid this bargain would fall into the hands of an outsider. Half an hour later, at the bank counter, the phone chimed with a notification. The bank card received 2 million yuan. 2 million is a bit of loss. But in such a short time, it really isn't easy to sell. To me, time and money are equally important. More importantly, once they buy the house, they'll be out of money. They won't stockpile supplies before the apocalypse. The housing administration is on holiday for the next few days. Wait until they're back at work, then I'll go with everyone to transfer the title. I looked at them and said, That's fine, Shang-Xia. We trust you, don't we? Lin smiled until her eyes were slits. I knew perfectly well she was even more worried about that fiancé-to-be. At this moment, Hoarding suddenly spoke up. Shang-Xia, the house has been bought by my family now. I'll give you 1 day. Move all your trash out of here. And that plague dog in your room, too. I don't want to see it anymore. Plague dog. These 2 words exploded like thunder beside my ears. I started violently. Dog. My Xiatian. He's still alive. I didn't waste another second with these people. I turned and ran back to my home. Just as I opened the bedroom door, A black German shepherd immediately threw itself into my arms. He had been pacing around the room just now, but obediently didn't dare make a sound. Xiatian. I hugged him tightly. Tears immediately welled up. My Xiatian is still alive. He was a birthday gift Mom gave me. In my past life, not long after the apocalypse struck, Han Ying's family took advantage of when I was out looking for food and killed him for meat. Xiatian, don't worry. In this life, I absolutely will not let you get hurt again. Right at this moment, a mechanical voice suddenly sounded in my head. Super Overlord system activated. Within 1 hour, every item carried with a value of over 1,000 yuan will be rewarded with 1 cubic meter of space. I looked into the void in disbelief. I casually picked up the phone on the table to test it. Detected mobile phone. Value, 4,999 yuan. Reward, for cubic meters. An empty space of 4 cubic meters actually appeared in my mind, and my phone was lying neatly inside that space. I tried mentally chanting phone. The next second, the phone from the space returned to my hand. I was ecstatic. It really is just as I thought. This is the legendary system. I began frantically collecting items into the space. Detected gold jewelry. Value, 58,000 yuan. Reward, 58 cubic meters. Detected bed. Value, 3,999 yuan. Reward, 3 cubic meters. Detected 4-piece redwood table and chair set. Value, 25,000 yuan. Reward, 25 cubic meters. In just about 10 minutes, everything movable was collected by me into the space. I didn't even spare the trash can in the house. Detected 5 caddies of rotten apples. Value, 2.5 yuan. Hearing this price, I couldn't help but scoff. Truly unlucky. Next, I targeted the objects that couldn't be moved. Detected a toilet. Value, 1,999 yuan. Detected wash basin. Value, 699 yuan. Detected range hood. Value, 2,599 yuan. Detected security door. Value, 1,589 yuan. Within 1 hour, I had stripped the entire house clean, except for the walls that couldn't be touched. Everything else that could be dismantled was dismantled. Finally received a space of 289 cubic meters. I looked at Xiatian with satisfaction. Xiatian, let's go. Right before the zombie outbreak, I hid in a shelter on a desolate mountain and stockpiled a massive amount of supplies. In this life, I am determined to survive until the very end. The broker led me through a forest. Finally, we arrived in front of a remote shelter on the desolate mountain. What are you renting a shelter for? The broker asked as a formality. Startup, growing mushrooms. I replied calmly. Hearing that I wanted to start a business, the broker looked at me as if he were looking at a complete idiot. He almost burst out laughing. After receiving the money, signing the contract, and taking the 500 yuan service fee, he left immediately, afraid a fool like me would change my mind. As for me, I didn't say anything. I turned and walked towards the shelter. After 10 years of struggling in the apocalypse, the first lesson I learned was never to warn idiots about disasters, because idiots themselves are a disaster. The shelter I rented was the size of 5 basketball courts. The rent for a year was only 2,000 yuan. Paying for 3 years at once only cost 6,000 yuan. I took Xiatian to inspect the inside and outside. Besides a rudimentary ventilation system, I was surprised to find a well left by the previous tenant inside. I tested the well water. It was underground spring water from the mountain. Later, when the water treatment plants get contaminated, tap water won't be usable anymore. This well can provide me with a clean water source. I also discovered an electrical wire. Although there was no electricity yet, it meant that lines had been installed here before. I just need to buy a generator to run the shelter. While thinking, the system notification sound suddenly rang in my head again. Super Overlord system activated. Detected a base war dog. Reward. War dog's combat power increased by 100 times. Physique increased by 100 times. Please reinforce the initial base. The system will grant rewards based on the level of reinforcement. Countdown, 15 days. I looked at Xiatian in front of me in astonishment. His body had clearly become much stronger. His whole body radiated intense vitality. To get more rewards, I drove the car Mom left me to the building materials market to buy things. After finding a steel factory, I directly ordered 2,000 square meters of rolled barbed wire mesh, 7 yuan per meter. 2,000 square meters cost me 14,000 yuan. Not a small amount. The owner even specially arranged a large truck to deliver the goods. I told the driver to unload the goods in a vacant lot by the road in the suburbs, using the excuse that I would call a car to transport it later to send them away. It was dark. Taking advantage of the fact that no one was in the suburbs, I collected all the steel mesh into the space. After clearing the goods, I drove Xiatian back to the shelter. On the way, I calculated silently. The purchase volume will be large later. I should still rent a warehouse as a transfer station to avoid unloading goods by the roadside like this every time. It attracts too much attention. Back at the shelter, I immediately started reinforcing along the dilapidated wire fence left by the previous owner. I wrapped it meter by meter. Occasionally, Xiatian would help me drag tools over. One person and one dog were busy from evening until morning. Finally, we finished reinforcing 2,000 square meters of steel mesh. Just as the last reinforcement point was completed, the system notification sounded in my head. Detected reinforced steel mesh. Defense efficiency increased by 100 times. As soon as the reward was granted, the newly reinforced steel mesh fence visibly became thicker. The outer ring was also covered with sharp spikes glinting with a steely light. The originally flimsy wire gate was also upgraded straight into a large iron gate that could be raised and lowered. I walked up to the fence. I pushed hard. The steel mesh didn't budge. Now, even if a few thousand zombies attacked at once, I'm afraid they wouldn't be able to tear through this line of defense. I was extremely satisfied. I was planning to continue buying other reinforcement materials when my stomach growled inappropriately. Xiatian also wound around me, whining. Clearly, he was hungry too. Yesterday, the two of us only ate a little bit. Busy all day, yet we hadn't officially stockpiled food. I suddenly remembered there was still some food in the space. With a thought, a bag of steaming buns appeared in my hand. It was still hot. I hurriedly took the refrigerator out of the space. Opened the door to check. Sure enough, even without being plugged in, the inside of the refrigerator was still cold. Even without electricity, it could maintain its original state. I was ecstatic. This means the system space is a constant temperature sealed space. Whatever state an item is put in, it comes out exactly the same. No need to worry about expiration. Now I can go on a crazy shopping spree for supplies without worry. There were many old farmhouses on both sides of the highway in the suburbs. Most of the villagers have moved into the city now. Many houses with good locations had for rent signs hanging up. I chose a farmhouse near the shelter, located next to the main road. Large area and convenient transportation. I plan to use it as a supply transfer station. Later, goods bought will be stored here first, then transported into the shelter using the space, avoiding others' eyes and ears, and convenient for entry and exit. The landlord was a middle-aged man about 40 or 50 years old. Rent here is 300 a month. 1 month deposit, 1 month rent up front. I paid him 400, but no deposit. I'm only renting it for a month as a warehouse. Fine. 400 is 400, but you aren't allowed to damage the house. When the time is up, you must move out on time. I spent 400 yuan to get the key. Time is up. That day will never come. After renting the warehouse, I immediately started shopping for supplies. The first thing was food. I found 10 shops. At each place, I bought 400 bags of 50 caddy rice. For now, just stockpile 100 tons. This rice cost me over 400,000, enough for me to eat for several lifetimes. Next was instant noodles. In the apocalypse, instant noodles are truly a luxury item. I stockpiled 1,000 cases. Japanese-style bone broth noodles. Braised beef noodles, dry noodles. I bought almost every flavor available on the market. 1,000 cases cost 70,000. With instant noodles, how could sausages be missing? I bought 200 cases of corn sausages and spicy crispy bone sausages, plus 100 cases of wujiang, pickled mustard tubers. These 3 items cost less than 30,000. Then came self-heating rice and pre-cooked meal packets. Just heat them up and they're ready to eat. Extremely convenient. I swept through the brand name stores. I bought a case of every type of dish. A total of over 20,000 bags purchased, costing about 150,000. This amount is enough for me to change dishes every meal until I'm old. But just calculating the bill, today alone, I spent nearly 700,000. My savings were originally over 300,000. Selling the house brought in 2 million. Now, I only have 1.7 million left in hand. Money really doesn't last long. My gaze darkened. I opened my hand. A red book appeared in my palm. It was the property deed for the house I just sold to my stepmother's family. I calmly went online to find a private lending agency's number and called. Hello, I want to mortgage a property. Sure, come to my company at 10 a.m. tomorrow to meet. Hanging up the phone, I curl my lips. A cold smile. Some grudges must be repaid. And repaid double. Just wait. The big gift I prepared for you all is coming soon. To gather money for stockpiling supplies, I mortgaged the deed to a small loan company. The house with a market value of 3 million only got a loan of 1.5 million. Moreover, 2 million must be paid back in 10 days. But it doesn't matter. I won't be there anyway. 10 days later is exactly 2 days before the apocalypse. Enough time for the loan company to find the stepmother's family who wants to occupy my house. Pity, I won't be able to see their dog-eat-dog show. Next, I swept through all the loan apps on the market. Managed to get another 500,000. After that, I drove to the building materials market. Bought 40 or 50 of the best cameras. Not only capable of night vision, but also with alarm monitoring functions. Considering the electricity issue, I went to a generator factory. What capacity do you want, miss? The boss greeted me enthusiastically. What types do you have here? We have everything. From 30, 50, 200 to 800. Those over 1,000 kilowatts are more expensive. The boss led me around to look. I also grasped the situation. The smallest 30 kilowatt hour type costs about 10 to 20,000. The medium 200 kilowatt hour type costs 50 to 100,000. The 300 kilowatt hour type is over 100,000. The higher the capacity, the price doubles. The type over 1,000 kilowatt hour starts at 1 million. Imported ones are 20 to 30% more expensive than domestic ones. Buying domestic is fine. The quality isn't inferior to imported ones. High practicality. Also convenient for repairs later. Are you buying for a restaurant? Yes. Power outages affect business. He lied casually. I want the best one. Do it right in one go. Not short of money. I acted like a rich person. Chose the most expensive one priced at 1.2 million. Electricity is very important to me. I can't be careless. The boss couldn't stop smiling. He happily threw in over 10 liters of diesel as a gift. Seeing the diesel, my eyes lit up. Boss, do you know anyone who could sell cheap oil? Diesel isn't easy to buy. Gas stations require ID registration. Only a few liters can be bought at a time. But people who sell generators very likely have connections. Sure enough, the boss gave a mysterious smile. He pulled me aside and stuffed a business card into my hand. Call this number. Say I introduced you. It can be 20% cheaper, even lower than the market price. I took the business card. I understood in my heart. Related industries indeed have connections with each other. As I was leaving, the boss inadvertently muttered, "The flu is breaking out lately. Business is so bad." I walked away quickly, without saying a word. This flu is actually the omen of the apocalypse. Half a month after the flu virus outbreak. Those infected will die, suddenly one after another. But before people can recover from the grief, their deceased relatives will revive and turn into zombies. In my past life, during this time, I was busy arranging Han Ying's wedding. I not only spent money buying new furniture, renovating the house for them, but when his wife got pregnant, I was also busy taking her to the hospital. The day the apocalypse struck, I happened to be at the hospital getting her pregnancy test results. Suddenly, I heard terrible screams in the corridor. The whole hospital instantly went into chaos. Everyone bitten would mutate within 5 minutes and join the biting horde. To protect my pregnant sister-in-law, I led her charging out of the chaos. Precisely because I showed too much skill back then. Later, dangerous jobs like scavenging for supplies were all assigned to me. In my past life, I foolishly thought that being able to protect my family was happiness. Heh. Thinking back now, it's truly ridiculous. It depends on who you are protecting. A bunch of animals like them simply aren't worthy. Wait until the generator is delivered to the warehouse. I immediately called the number on the business card to ask about buying diesel. The other party said they could deliver. Delivery tomorrow. I bought out his entire stock worth 1 million. I collected the large generator into the space. Calculating it, today's trip cost nearly 2 million. After returning to the base, I placed the generator in the storage room deepest in the shelter. The system sent a notification again. Detected 1,000 kilowatt hour generator. Generator will never break down. Minimum energy consumption. My eyes widened in surprise. Initially, I was worried about its service life. I didn't expect the system to directly upgrade it to the max. My spirit became even more enthusiastic. I continued installing cameras. Arranged them one by one along the steel mesh fence reinforced yesterday. After connecting to the electronic circuit from the generator, the surveillance screen immediately popped up on the computer. It could clearly record every movement within range. Detected surveillance system and electric grid system. Upgrading surveillance system. Electronic eye range increased by 10 times. Automatically detect all living and non-living objects. Upgrading electric grid system. Maximum attack level, 10,000 volts. I looked at the computer screen. The definition was 10 times higher than before. The original monitoring range of 100 meters can now extend to 1,000 meters. Even the road outside the distant forest can be seen clearly. There's also the 10,000-volt electric grid system. With this defense power, anyone who dares to break into the base later will die instantly. Xiaotian, don't get close to the steel mesh fence later. Understand? Xiaotian actually barked once in response. It seems that after being upgraded, his intelligence has also increased significantly. I continued cleaning up the base. Unexpectedly, even cleaning has rewards. Detected water, well upgraded. Spring water source will never run dry. Detected weed, area reduced. High-quality soil. Crop yield increased by 100 times. Growth speed increased by 10 times. I immediately cheered up. This means I can grow my own fresh fruits and vegetables. Achieve self-sufficiency. The next day, I went to the farmer's market to buy a bunch of common crop seeds. Back at the place, I found an open piece of land half an acre in size. Planted apple trees. The other half was planted with some vegetables, sweet potatoes, and other seedlings. This way, after the apocalypse, there will still be fresh vegetables to eat. Everything is ready. Now what I worry about most is fire. Forest fire prevention is always a difficult problem. But if I cut down all the trees in front, it would easily expose the location of my safe base. Therefore, I could only clear a fire break near the safety fence, hoping it will be effective. Detected fire hazard reduced. Fire break will never catch fire. At critical moments, I still have to rely on the golden finger. The safety of the shelter has been raised another level. These past few days, goods ordered online were delivered one after another. Every night, I went to the warehouse to pick up goods. The warehouse door has an extra-large surveillance camera installed. Currently, no danger has been detected. Inside the shelter, there's a large warehouse. 100 tons of rice. 1,000 cases of instant noodles. All food is stacked neatly. Detected warehouse is full. Super warehouse. Stored food is permanently kept fresh. The warehouse door immediately turned into a thick metal door like a bank vault. Only my iris can open it. The supplies inside are automatically sorted and arranged. Most importantly, the permanent freshness lock function. I no longer have to worry about expiration dates. At 6 a.m., I woke up on the bed in the shelter. Unknowingly, 10 days have passed. Every day, the first thing I do when I open my eyes is run 10,000 meters around the shelter. Physical strength has improved significantly. Only 3 days left until the apocalypse. I drove into the city to replenish supplies for the last time. Haven't been to the city for a few days. Arriving today, I saw the atmosphere wasn't right. Everyone was wearing masks. Faces full of worry. Miss, if you want to buy something, hurry up. After selling this lot, I'm packing up and going home early. The stall owner selling live chickens and ducks urged. I looked at the dozen or so chickens and ducks on the stall, both roosters and hens. Every one of them was healthy. So I said, "Sir, sell them a bit cheaper. I'll take all of these." Finally, I spent over $1,900 to buy 26 chickens and ducks. Raise some live poultry. Later, I can eat meat whenever I want. Thinking about having a warehouse in permanent freshness space, I found a pork stall. Ordered 1,000 caddies of pork and 500 caddies of beef. Quite a large quantity. I paid a little extra for them to deliver immediately to the warehouse I rented. Miss, go home quickly after buying. The flu is very bad these past 2 days. Go out less. The stall owner advised after taking the money. I nodded and left. Actually, this flu isn't the source of the zombie virus. It just spreads widely, weakening human resistance. As for the source of the zombie virus, in my past life, I couldn't find it either. I only know that later, Different mutations appeared among humans too. I walked into a sports store, bought a few of the sturdiest baseball bats. While I was at it, I bought a bunch of camping gear. Flashlights, helmets, armor, protective gear, tents, protective clothing, waterproof jackets. Everything was fully prepared. Total cost, over 20,000. The store also had first aid kit accessories like tweezers, needles, hemostatic tape, thermometers. This reminded me to stop by a pharmacy. Leaving the sports store, I went straight to the pharmacy to replenish supplies. Cold medicine, diarrhea medicine, fever reducers, vitamins, gauze, band-aids. I bought a lot of everything. When I left the pharmacy, it was completely dark. The neon lights in the city were brilliant. I calculated silently. The basic necessities were essentially all covered. Food, drink, shelter, tools. Basic needs were guaranteed. Before the apocalypse arrives, I plan to enjoy the last sumptuous feast of this prosperous world. I went to a Michelin hotel I had never dared to enter before. Ordered a luxurious table of food. Dishes I couldn't afford before. Ordered one of everything. Seeing the garlic shrimp and beef fillet steak were delicious. I told the kitchen to prepare 10 portions to go. Forced Tion to eat. I rented a presidential suite in the hotel. Then went down to mall to shop. In the shopping mall, goods were displayed everywhere. I rushed straight to the food court. All kinds of delicious food dazzled my eyes. The only issue was insufficient time. Money was limited. I swept through one store after another. Discreetly but generously, I found the staff and said I wanted to buy all the food, and after paying, I told them to deliver it to the hotel room upstairs. Every staff member's eyes went wide, hands and feet scrambling to pack the goods. Freshly baked bread, cheesecakes, cream puffs, cream cakes, mochi, durian crepes, salted egg yolk pastries from the bakery. I took them all. Sweet and spicy fried chicken, amber sauce, soy garlic sauce, honey mustard sauce from the Korean fried chicken shop, boneless chicken, drumsticks, chicken wings, whole chickens. I took them all too. Ming der, fruit der, cream form der, tese form der. Smoothies from the milk tea shop. Ordered one of every flavor. Paid, left the address, and went. Without alerting anyone. One round like this. Just buying snacks cost over 200,000. Finished the food court on the 3rd floor. I went down to the large supermarket in the basement. Regarding daily necessities. Personal care items. Lotion, sanitary pads. Disposable face towels. Vet wipes. I prepared them all fully. I went straight to their manager. Told them to prepare the store's entire inventory for me. After buying these things, my money was almost depleted. I continued strolling. Out of the corner of my eye, I suddenly glimpsed 2 familiar figures. A young man walking with a pregnant woman ahead. It was my good brother and sister-in-law. Wife, calm down. Don't let anger harm your body and affect the baby. Han Ying called Favning Li. Han Ying, how do you expect me to believe you? You said your house was ready to move in. Turns out it's an unfinished house. Now a debt collection company is coming to take the house. I've seen through it all. Your family just deceived me. I can't keep this child. I'm going to get an abortion right now. I stood in the corner listening to the entire conversation. The corners of my mouth couldn't help but curl into a cold smile. But this still isn't enough. I intentionally called his name once, then turned and ran towards the underground garage. Shang-Xia. His eyes lit up. He didn't bother chasing his wife anymore and ran towards me. Chased all the way to the underground parking lot. Hoarding was panting heavily. Blocked me in a corner. Face full of ferocity. You dare to secretly harm me? Caught you today. I must kill you. What a coincidence. I was thinking the same thing. After 10 years of struggling in the apocalypse, I can beat 10 guys like him. Half an hour later, Hoarding was like a pile of mashed meat. Lying paralyzed on the ground, gasping for breath. I took his phone. Transferred the remaining 30,000 yuan to my account. After that, I even helped him call an ambulance. Killing him would be too easy. I want him to taste the feeling of living a life worse than death after the apocalypse. Next, I used Han Ying's phone to send a message to his parents. Son was beaten in the basement of Manhwa Mall. Come to the hospital quickly. I calculated it. He will be in a coma for at least 3 days. By the time he wakes up, the apocalypse will have struck. Basically no time to call the police. When I returned to the hotel room, inside was piled high with supplies bought today. On the table, on the floor, on the sofa, goods were everywhere. After collecting everything into the space in a blink of an eye, I decided to stay here tonight. Already paid, can't waste it. I turned on the TV. The news was warning citizens about the severe flu nearby, advising everyone to stockpile more supplies. Best not to leave home. I don't know if this is a subtle hint or not. Or maybe the government already knew something. Before sleeping, I did physical training for 3 hours. In the apocalypse, the body is the most precious capital. Exercised until exhausted before taking a shower. Before lying down in bed, I carefully checked the cameras at the shelter and warehouse. Both places were safe. I used a video robot to speak a few sentences with Xiatian. Told him to guard the things carefully. I'll be back tomorrow morning. Xiatian responded intelligently, obediently lying guard in the doghouse at the warehouse. I glanced at the time. Today is the 9th. In my past life, the zombie virus broke out on August 11th. Clearly 2 more days. But I always had an ominous premonition. At 5 a.m., I was awakened by the urgent sirens of police cars and ambulances. The high-end hotel I stayed in had excellent soundproofing, but I am naturally sensitive. Just a little movement woke me up. I hurriedly pulled the curtains to look down. Sure enough, the street was full of police cars and ambulances blaring their sirens. A bad thought sprang up in my mind. Just then, hurried footsteps and urgent knocking sounded outside the room. I grabbed a baseball bat, went behind the door, and looked through the peephole. It was hotel staff, looking tense, but with no wounds or blood on her body. Complexion, considered normal. What's wrong, miss? I am room service. We received many reports from guests about people fainting and needing help. May I ask if you're all right? I spoke through the door. I'm Yufine. Then please be patient and stay in the room for a while, miss. The hotel will extend your rest time for free. Sorry to disturb you. The staff member finished speaking and went to the next room. At this moment, my nerves were taut as bowstrings. The apocalypse has probably arrived early. Must leave here immediately. I immediately took the car keys and left the hotel. Didn't forget to take all the free water and snacks in the room when leaving. When opening the door, I saw that staff member just walking to the room in the far corner. Knocked several times with no answer. She swiped the room card to open the door and went in. Very quickly after that, I heard an urgent voice. Sir? Sir? What's wrong with you? Followed by the sound of her calling on the walkie-talkie. Guest in room 809 has fainted. Come quickly. I walked quickly towards the elevator. Found an empty one. While the elevator was going down, a piercing scream rang out. This familiar sound. The zombie virus has broken out earlier than expected. I looked at the descending elevator. Decisively pressed the button for the 5th floor. Not going down to the lobby on the 1st floor. This is a hotel building attached to a shopping mall. From basement B2 to the 5th floor above ground is a large shopping mall. It's not yet 6 o'clock now. The mall is still closed. Staff arrive at 8 o'clock at the earliest. So, the mall area is truly in no man's land right now. When the apocalypse just breaks out, the most dangerous place is the crowd. Must escape the crowd. Getting off the elevator on the 5th floor. Sure enough, as I predicted, the mall was empty at this time. Even the lights weren't turned on. But upon entering the 5th floor lobby, I could clearly hear the screams outside. Riots had occurred on the streets. A man covered in blood rushed out of a bar, charged straight at a woman jogging in the morning. I stood by the 5th floor window watching this scene. Sure enough, it's the apocalypse. The apocalypse I'm most familiar with has arrived a full day early. Stepping into the apocalyptic era, I turned and ran deeper inside, planning to take the escalator down to the B2 parking lot to avoid all elevators. Running into the unmanned mall, the goods displayed before my eyes attracted my attention. So many supplies. How can I leave empty-handed? Even if I leave, I must take everything here with me. Just then, a voice sounded in my head. Super Overlord system activated. Time limit, 2 hours. For every 10,000 yuan worth of supplies carried, reward 1 cubic meter of portable space. You're still the best. My dear golden finger. I took a baseball bat out of the space. Smashed the glass cabinet in front of me. Rushed in. Spread my arms wide. Anything my hands touched vanished into thin air, directly entering my space. At this moment, I completely didn't care if the cameras were recording or not. It's the apocalypse. Who has the leisure to check cameras to investigate these things? Detected 279 items of women's fashion. Value, 650,000. Reward, 65 cubic meters. Detected 144 items of men's fashion. Value, 580,000. Reward, 58 cubic meters. Detected 92 luxury handbags. Value, 1,890,000. Reward, 189 cubic meters. Whether it was men's wear, women's wear, children's wear, underwear, or luxury bags, I took them all. I swept through one store after another. Every place I passed became spotless. About an hour later, I had looted all the luxury stores on these floors. Next, I went to the phone store. Didn't miss any of the latest phones and tablets. High-end cosmetics store. La Mer, Estée Lauder. Lancôme. All kinds I couldn't afford before. I frantically collected them all. Diamond rings. Gemstones, jadeite. Glittering gold and silver in the glass cabinets were all gathered by me. Into the space. In these 2 hours, the space skyrocketed to over 10,000 cubic meters. Luxury goods really have value. Passing through the food court, I casually collected ovens, ice cream machines, coffee machines. Making food myself later. The new life won't be too hard. Finally, I arrived at the large supermarket in the basement. The supplies here were truly countless. I swept my hand across each shelf. A whole shelf of chocolate. Biscuits. A whole shelf of potato chips. In less than half an hour, with extreme speed, the entire giant supermarket was swept clean by me. Countdown ended. Total harvest, 14,800 cubic meters of space. I leaned against a shelf in the empty warehouse. Opened a cold Coke and down in one go. The cool liquid slid down my throat. I narrowed my eyes in satisfaction. 14,800 cubic meters. Maybe you can't visualize it. It's equivalent to a 10-story building. The city's largest shopping mall was swept clean by me. I didn't stop, but went straight toward the parking lot. The underground garage wasn't chaotic yet. Yesterday, I intentionally parked right near the exit. I didn't hesitate anymore. Floored the gas pedal. The car shot out of the parking lot. It wasn't yet 7 o'clock. The city should have been waking up. But because the zombie virus broke out early in the morning, it was immersed in a deathly silence. 2 hours ago, breakfast shops, sanitation workers, and hospitals were the first places affected. Office workers were even more miserable, especially those crowded on public transport. That was truly the beginning of hell. I knew very well this was just the initial stage. There were still many people trapped at home who hadn't come out yet. Now, while everyone hasn't had time to react, it is the best time to leave. Later, when the wave of mass evacuation erupts, all traffic will be completely paralyzed. But I wasn't in a hurry to return to the shelter. There was still a more important thing to do. Zombies broke out a day early, and I was still on the road in the city center. Luckily, the roads were very clear in the early morning. I floored the gas pedal, risking my life speeding back. Suddenly, a young girl spread her arms blocking the middle of the road. Fortunately, I braked in time. By the roadside, her boyfriend was supporting an old lady who had fallen. I knew what was happening at a glance. Stop the car. Someone fainted here. Please drive the old lady to the hospital. The girl stood in the middle of the road, refusing to move. I looked at the girl in front of me. My eyes went cold. Right foot floored the gas pedal. The girl blocking the road was startled by my full acceleration. Luckily, she managed to dodge in time at the end. What kind of person is that? If you want help, fine. You try to hit me? Cold-blooded. Selfish. Not a shred of compassion. People nowadays are all selfish. Unlike us who are so kind. However, before they finished scolding, I heard the boyfriend's miserable scream. Through the rearview mirror, I saw the girl was also knocked down by him. I just glanced once, then withdrew my gaze. Kindness? Goodness? Sorry. Those are things that only exist in heaven. And this is hell. I accelerated to full speed. Over 40 minutes later, I successfully left the city, running on the suburban road. I didn't go straight back to the shelter, because my Xiaotian was still at the warehouse, helping me guard the supplies. I couldn't leave him behind. As soon as the door opened, Xiaotian barked joyfully. I went over and rubbed his head. Hard work for you. Time was tight. I hurriedly collected all the supplies bought yesterday in the warehouse into the space. Closing the door, I led Xiaotian straight back to the shelter, my apocalyptic refuge. An hour later, I leaned back on the super soft cloud sofa looted from the mall, opened a bottle of Coke. One person and one dog. Watching the news together on the super large TV. Emergency announcement. Attacks occurring nationwide on a large scale. Requesting all citizens not to leave their homes. Close windows tightly. Wait for rescue. Wait for rescue. Wait for rescue. The national TV station cut all signals, broadcasting a unified announcement. Wait for rescue was repeated 3 times. I was all too familiar with this scene. In my past life, when the apocalypse broke out, the TV station also broadcasted such an announcement. But only someone experienced like me understands. After the apocalypse, you can only rely on yourself to find ways to gather supplies. I looked at the shelter I built. My eyes lit up. I will turn this place into a true steel fortress. On the grass, outside the shelter, I used the wood collected a few days ago to build a simple fence. I waved my hand. Over 20 chickens and ducks bought earlier all appeared inside. Before this, they had been collected by me into space. My space can absorb these chickens and ducks, but it has no effect on Xiaotian, and even less effect on humans. Perhaps it can only absorb simple creatures. Without intelligence, just intending to return to the shelter. Detected base has poultry, chickens/ducks. Reward, reproductive ability maximized and permanently disease-free. Before I could rejoice, another voice sounded. Detected apocalypse officially started. Base basic defense completed. Great, a grand gift pack. Congratulations on receiving. Base safety increased by 100%. Exquisite crossbow tower plus 100 short arrows. Most advanced multi-purpose armored vehicle. 1,000 tons of fuel. Following the system's rewards. A watchtower suddenly appeared on the lawn. In the space, there were an additional 1,000 tons of fuel and an extremely beautiful luxury armored vehicle. I took the armored vehicle out first. Huge body with camouflage pattern, glinting with cold steel light under the sun. Looking extremely imposing. In my past life, I also drove armored vehicles, but never got to drive one as good as this. If this car charges into a zombie horde, there will be absolutely no problem. Good treasure. Xiaotian. Let's go. Next, I went straight to the watchtower. Went up the stairs. I entered the exquisite crossbow tower rewarded by the system. 8 rectangular windows formed a perfect firing angle, capable of covering a range of 1,000 meters around the base. Also equipped with an extremely powerful, exquisite crossbow. Beside it were neatly stacked 10 bundles of short arrows. I took an arrow and loaded it into the crossbow, aimed at a fruit tree in the forest. The arrow tore through the wind. An apple fell to the ground. I immediately led Xiaotian running over, pulled the arrow out. Still reusable, almost silent. Penetrating power is strong. This is truly the most suitable weapon in the apocalypse. I contentedly led Xiaotian back, looking at the increasingly solid base. Suddenly remembered the grade A reward the system mentioned. A. If the completion level is higher, would the reward be greater? After returning to the shelter, I took food out of the space. 1 person and 1 dog ate a hearty meal. Next, I started physical training in the base. These few days, I must restore my physique to peak condition. Just started training not long ago. A ding sounded in my head. Super Overlord system activated. Time limit, 10 days. Host improving combat power will receive rewards. The final reward will be evaluated based on the completion level. My eyes lit up. Already training hard. I immediately had even more motivation. This time, I must get the 100% completion reward. I started the program. Military-style, physical training with extremely high intensity. 354, 355, 356. I finished 360 sets of training, sweating profusely. After completing the final plank, my whole body felt like it was falling apart. Not a bit of strength left. Body exhausted. But I could clearly feel my limits being broken one by one. I'm getting stronger. Making progress. This training method was taught by Su Xiaoyang, my closest subordinate at the base in my past life. He used to be a soldier. After the apocalypse broke out, he went to City A for rescue, but was abandoned by his superiors. Comrades died. Scattered. Only he remained, wandering to the base where I was. It was I who saved him. He was always taciturn and spoke little. Only knew to keep his head down and execute orders. He was my sharpest blade, no matter how many other teams wanted to poach him. He was unmoved. Perhaps those who have been soldiers have very high loyalty. Once he accepted me as his master, he would absolutely not betray me. Later, in the zombie siege battle, he sacrificed himself right in front of me. Finished training, recalling things from the past life. I also felt relieved. My trajectory has changed. Those people and events from the past life, Perhaps won't be encountered again. Must be content. Having Xiatian by my side in this life is enough. The first thing in the morning is still running 10,000 meters around the shelter, checking the surrounding situation while at it. Currently, there's still no traces of zombies here. After showering, I ate breakfast and simultaneously turned on the computer to check the situation outside. Today is the third day since the apocalypse broke out. The internet is still usable. The screen is full of distress messages. Help! I'm trapped in the bedroom. Parents keep banging on the door continuously. Haven't eaten for 3 days. The last bottle of Coke is finished. Someone save me. Does anyone know the owner of apartment A101 in Shang-Xia Garden? My girlfriend has been out of contact for 3 days. Want to know how she is? Didn't they say there was rescue? Waited 3 days and still haven't seen it. My house is out of water. I remember in my past life, the first thing cut off was the water supply. The water plant's tank was contaminated. Even if there was water, it couldn't be used. Electricity lasted longer. A city with a complete power system like ours lasted 3 months in the past life. The network system, although unmanaged, could still be used. Only when the power goes out will the network go with it. I turned off the computer, turned around, and threw myself into training. 10 days of intensification. Every minute must be utilized. In a flash, 7 days passed. For these 7 days, my life consisted only of training. Showering, eating, then training again. Out of 24 hours a day, I spent 18 hours training. Physique improved significantly. Strength doubled. Speed also increased considerably. I also practiced the combat skills from my past life again. Taking down 5 big guys at once is no problem. Zombies are even less of a threat to me, unless surrounded by a few hundred like in the past life. After finishing today's training session, I ate beef jerky again to replenish energy. Consumption requires intake. Eat a lot, digest fast. This energy will become part of a strong body. I stewed a large pot of beef bone soup separately for Xiatian, full of beef. I eat what he eats. 1 person and 1 dog. We ate and drank to our heart's content in the base. While outside, the world had long turned upside down. The 10th day after the apocalypse broke out. Food reserves in people's homes were almost exhausted. People were forced to rush out one after another to find food. But there were truly few who could return in one piece from amidst the zombie hordes. 10 people go out to find food, 9 die. This saying is not an exaggeration at all. I watched videos on online platforms. In the early stage, fear and lack of experience with zombies gave them absolutely no chance to resist. At this moment, the surveillance camera suddenly beeped an alarm. This means someone has entered the monitoring range. I immediately rushed to the control console. Among the many surveillance screens, a small, inconspicuous screen in the corner lit up. When I saw the image, I paused slightly. It was the camera of the warehouse I rented before. Left in a hurry on Doomsday, so I forgot to remove it. This little girl rented the warehouse from me more than half a month ago. I saw delivery trucks coming here every day a few days ago. There must be supplies. But this is a rented house. Entering is illegal. What time is it now to worry about illegal or legal? Rob quickly. That's right. She has stuff. She must share it with us. After a loud bang, the old landlord led a group of people aggressively rushing in. But when they saw the scene inside, everyone was stunned. Damn it. Why is it empty? Old he, is this what you said was full of supplies? I think you saw wrong. Trucks coming in doesn't necessarily mean delivery to her. A few items, a few boxes. People moved out long ago. Truly unlucky. Wasted our effort worrying and fearing to come with you on a trip. A group of people cursed and left. Before leaving, the old landlord angrily smashed the camera. I leaned back in the chair. Mood was extremely good. I had long guessed someone would spy, so I deliberately rented a warehouse to transfer supplies. It's just that I'm naturally petty. That old man smashed my camera. I'll remember this. The next day, after I persisted in planking for an hour, the reward finally arrived. Physical enhancement time ended. Starting evaluation. Host physique increased by 100%. Completion, 100%. Congratulations on receiving grade S reward. Strength doubled. Endurance doubled. Wound recovery speed doubled. Transcendent combat skills. In the absence of severe injury. Can live to be 100 years old. As soon as the reward was granted, my body underwent a drastic change. Whole body filled with endless energy. I went outside the base, looked at my treasured armored vehicle. A desire to lift it suddenly rose in my heart. I grabbed one side of the chassis. Legs firmly planted in a squat. Arms exerted force. The 20-ton armor vehicle was actually lifted 1 cm. I tested speed again. In an explosive state, I can easily run as fast as a world champion. My current state can already match ordinary speed and strength ability users. This reward is truly worth it. After testing physique, I took out the combat manual again. All moves were precise, ruthless, all killing moves. No wonder it's called transcendent combat skills. That evening, I stood on my watchtower, looking around, gazing towards the city. Discovered the whole city was plunged into darkness. Seems the power went out earlier than expected. Anyway, the zombie virus broke out earlier too. All uncontrollable factors are changing. Seems the difficulty of this life is much higher than the previous one. Electricity is basic energy. In my past life, at home, I relied entirely on electricity for cooking. At night, I could use voice-activated lights and surveillance cameras to observe the zombie situation. Now, with the power out, the difficulty of survival in the city has skyrocketed another level. On the surveillance screen, the furthest image of the infrared camera could see the road outside the forest. Quite a few vehicles were rushing at high speed. They were fleeing frantically out of the city. Behind was a long line of zombies chasing. In the darkness, quite a few cars crashed. Sounds of sudden braking and collisions rang out clearly in the night. Half a month was enough for everyone to accept the truth, especially the fact that rescue couldn't be waited for. Today, the citywide blackout became the final straw. Now, besides desperately fleeing the city, they didn't care about anything else. I knew a new wave of evacuation was about to begin. After all, staying in the city is the most dangerous. Early the next morning, I stood on the watchtower again, using binoculars to observe. The small road outside was full of accident scenes. The number of zombies wandering on the main road began to increase. Some were surrounding the crash cars gnawing. Others were wandering aimlessly. Even quite a few had intruded into the range of my territory. Walking towards the forest on this side, I picked up the crossbow, intending to shoot dead an ignorant zombie, but then stopped. I picked up the crossbow, intending to shoot dead a zombie intruding in my territory, but then stopped. Why kill zombies? Having zombies wandering around the territory, isn't that natural guards? I held the binoculars looking out. Even felt a bit regretful that the number of zombies at the base entrance was too few. Must lure some more over. Half an hour later, I drove the armored vehicle to the periphery, parked the car in the forest. I led Xiatian, walking towards the main road. The further out I went, the stronger the smell of blood. Xiatian, you help me guard the surroundings. If you see zombies, don't kill them. Just crippling them is enough. Xiatian barked once, signaling he understood. This virus doesn't infect animals. So after being upgraded, Xiatian is truly the nemesis of zombies. As for me, I sprinkled all the bags of chicken blood prepared earlier into the forest leading to my base. Zombies are very sensitive to this smell of blood. Wait until the forest is full of zombies. Probably no ignorant fools will come again, right? Done with these things, I contentedly led Xiatian back to the base. Finished showering with Xiatian. Just dry my hair. I heard the surveillance camera alarm. I immediately went to the surveillance room. Only saw a pickup truck loaded with goods rushing from the main road towards my base. Impressive, daring to charge in with so many zombies. Clearly targeting me. I went to the top floor of the watchtower, raised the crossbow, aimed at the tire that just entered attack range. The sound of wind tearing rang out, followed by the sound of a tire bursting. The pickup truck lunged forward a distance due to inertia, then stopped. Not long after, 4 big guys got out of the car. One of them looked familiar. Wasn't that the broker who rented me the shelter? I couldn't hear clearly what they were saying, but clearly they wanted to come occupy my shelter. After that, they got back in the car. Even though the tire blew, they still tried to drive towards me with difficulty. Since you won't give up, then how could a person who considers herself the moral floor of humanity like me give you a chance? I took out the crossbow again, shot towards them. This time, I tied a bit of chicken blood to the arrow tail, shot all into the remaining tires. When they discovered the car was completely immobile. Zombies around had also surrounded them. If you want to seek death, then stay here and be guards for me. I told Xiatian to chase all the zombies out, while I went to retrieve the short arrows still stuck in the wheels. Walked to the back of the pickup truck I waved my hand, collected all supplies on the truck into the space. A bountiful day. Just consider this an apology gift from these ignorant bastards. Return to the base. I poured out the loot, just snatched a look. Corners of my mouth couldn't help but curl up. 10 cases of instant noodles full to the brim. 5 bags of rice. 2 cases of drinking water. A case of meat and fresh vegetables. There's also a box of gold with price tags still attached. One look, and I knew it was deliberately robbed when passing a gold shop. Looking at these 30 or 40 caddies of gold, I couldn't help sighing. Human love for gold is truly ingrained in the blood. But they weren't wrong to bring gold. In the apocalypse, the only thing with circulation value is gold. I sorted the supplies and put them in the warehouse. Also recovered a police pistol. These thugs definitely ransacked places they shouldn't touch. I couldn't help labeling myself as eliminating harm for the people. An enthusiastic citizen full of justice like me is truly rare. Just finished arranging. The system notification sound rang in my head. Detected base defense battle successful. Defeated 4 enemies. Seized 20 cases of supplies. Congratulations on receiving 26 points. System shop opened. Point shop. A shop panel immediately appeared in my head. Inside was piled high with supplies. Food, medicine, guns, weapons, base building materials. Each item clearly stated attributes and price. Energy bar, 5 points. Staves off hunger for 10 hours. Bread, 8 points. Staves off hunger for 20 hours. White medicine, 20 points. Stops bleeding and relieves pain. Apply and heal immediately. The weapon interface was even more attractive. All kinds of guns with high damage and accuracy. All treasures. Just that the price is too expensive. Now I only have 26 points. Drooling looking at it. Even started hoping someone would invade to give points. While thinking, the surveillance camera alarm beeped again. I went to the surveillance room to check. Under the dim sky, several large vehicles parked outside the monitoring range. I rejoiced in my heart. So fast. Someone came to offer their life, but they only killed zombies. Didn't intrude into my territory. Instead, they opened the back of the truck, released a pack of dogs. Very quickly after that, they got in the car and left. Only the pack of dogs remained standing there, looking in the direction the car went, chasing a few steps, then stopping. I was a bit puzzled. What were they doing? But they left. I didn't care anymore. Early the next morning, I ran around the shelter as usual. Now 10,000 meters is just a warm-up for me. While eating, I opened surveillance on my phone. Discovered the pack of dogs was still on the main road. About 14 or 15 dogs, squatting where they stopped yesterday, as if waiting for their master. At this moment, a public notification popped up on the phone. City A rescue operation begins. Rescue vehicles have entered City A. Survivors, please quickly go to the following assembly points. I immediately understood. Those passing by yesterday were the rescue team. These are their dogs. I drove the armored vehicle out of the base. Zombies on a main road had been cleaned up. 15 dogs guarding the intersection. Eyes staring intently towards the city. Spirits were low. There were wounds on their bodies. They must have gone through a fierce battle. One look, and I knew they didn't wait for their master last night. But they still wouldn't leave. In the apocalypse, everyone is helpless. Meeting me, follow me from now on. I took some raw meat out of the space for them to eat. Every one of them ate ravenously. Probably haven't eaten such good food in a long time. I saw one with a severe leg injury. Gritted my teeth and spent 20 points to exchange for a bottle of white medicine. Tiao, 2 of bamboos. Remember your new master's kindness. This is medicine exchange for 20 points. Obediently follow me later. I will never abandon you. I muttered while bandaging it. The dog lying on the ground seemed to understand. Eyes full of humanity quietly looked at me. Tail wagged slightly. Just finished bandaging. The system notification sound rang in my head. Detected base added 15 war dogs. Loyalty 100%. Health of the dog pack in the base recovered to max. Base overall upgraded again. Received 150 points. The pack of dogs beside me immediately became spirited. Light full of vitality burst into their eyes again. This time I really profited big. Not only received 150 points, but the base was also upgraded once more. I couldn't wait to see what the base would look like after the upgrade. Just returned to the shelter. I discovered this place had changed completely. The steel mesh fence outside had become taller and thicker. Even if a zombie horde attacks again, it can withstand it. Inside the shelter surprised me even more. Many hidden doors appeared on the original walls. Behind each door were rooms. I can turn them into areas I want according to my needs. I put the entire surveillance system in one room. This place will be my surveillance room from now on. I put all the exercise equipment in another room. This place instantly turned into a gym. In the deepest room, I placed a large bed bought for $0 from mall. This place will be my bedroom from now on. Each room is also equipped with its own ventilation system, electricity, water, and specialized drainage pipes. Truly couldn't be more thoughtful. Thinking of this, I immediately opened the system shop. The food page has been updated to 10 items. From the 5-point energy bar to the 100-point super energy solution. All are treasures that help replenish physical strength quickly. Hunger resistance time ranges from a few hours to a few days, but I have no need for food. On the contrary, 2 new items in the medicine section made my eyes light up. Besides the 20-point white medicine, there were also the 50-point super bandage and the 100-point life-saving pill. I clicked to see details. Super bandage. Apply to any wound. Rapidly recover injuries, including arteries. Life-saving pill. As long as there is one breath left, it can save a life. I raised my eyebrows in surprise. Does that mean even if the throat is slit, just applying a bandage can heal it? The life-saving pill is even more domineering. Scrolling down further, I saw the zombie virus suppressor. Price, 100 million points. There's actually a suppressor? Can a zombie virus be cured? After the joy, seeing the price, I immediately fell silent. 100 million points. With my current fortune of 156 points, I can only beg for mercy. But the system shop hides such a domineering treasure. If brought out, it would definitely shock the world. 100 million points, no matter how hard, must be accumulated. Must reserve a dose for myself. Finished viewing the medicine section. A weapon made me drool even more. A normal P92 costs 500 points. Submachine guns and shotguns start at 5,000 points. The AWM sniper rifle I like costs 8,000 points. Damage is a level higher than goods outside. Absolutely a divine weapon in the apocalypse. At the end of the shop, there was a locked interface, displaying 5,000 points needed to unlock. Really curious what good things are hidden inside. I tried clicking on the points earning channel. 3 lines of notifications appeared before my eyes. Complete system missions to receive points. Expand territory area to receive points. Increase territory members to receive points. Starting tomorrow, must begin expanding territory outward. Try to earn points. Early the next morning, I didn't run around the old territory anymore, but went straight up the back mountain. I had all my dogs scatter in all directions on the mountain. Clean up all zombies inside. After that, I erected a sign at the foot of the mountain. Private territory. Beware of fierce dogs ahead. Detected territory area expanded by double. Reward, 1,000 points. First territory expansion. Territory telepathy. Sure enough, as I thought, as long as it's a place I or my dogs have measured, it will become my territory. Just one mountain earned 1,000 points. Then if I occupy city, wouldn't 100 million points be within reach? I close my eyes to feel the territory telepathy reward. The entire terrain of the back mountain and shelter automatically appear to my mind. When a strange creature intrudes, my sixth sense can warn immediately. Xiaotian, west, 500 meters. Half a minute later, he finished off a zombie sneaking into the territory. This thing is even more accurate than real-time camera positioning. With it, any movement won't escape my perception. Next, I started cleaning up the area. In front of the shelter's barbed wire fence. Cleaning all the way to the roadside. I also erected a similar sign. Detected territory area increased. Reward, 500 points. Standing in place, I started calculating which direction to expand next. To the left is the flat road leading to City A. To the right is the sparsely populated villa area. Thinking for a while, I decided to start from the right first. There are too many people and zombies in the city. Just occupy the secure peripheral areas first. I ran until evening to finish sweeping another hill. Points increased by another 1,000. Return to the base. I waved my hand. Released a large amount of fresh beef from the space. Everyone worked hard. Let's eat. I've never been stingy with my teammates. If I have meat to eat, my subordinates must have meat too. For myself, I took out a portion of hot Korean fried chicken. This was supplies stockpiled in the mall before. Too much to finish. Change a dish every meal. The next day, I continued expanding territory. Today, I drove the armored vehicle out. Target is the villa area on the mountain. That place used to be a residential area for the rich. Only 10 villas. Heard half haven't been sold yet. The number of people staying is even fewer. After driving the armored vehicle to the mountain villa area, I sent the dogs to check if there were any living people nearby. Dong Feng, east wind. Nan Feng, south wind. Search the left. Shi Feng, west wind. Bei Feng, north wind. Search the south. Hongzhong, red dragon. By Ban, white dragon. Search upwards. Tiao, two of bamboos. Fa Chai, prosperity. Stay in guard. If people appear, call me. I leisurely took out a sign, planted it in the ground. On it was written, private territory, intodas vildi. Not long after, the dogs returned one after another. But the system notification sound never rang in my head. I glanced at the 10 villas. Understood in my heart. Seems I have to sweep all these villas. I left 4 dogs guarding outside. Led Dong Feng and the others to start sweeping. The first villa clearly hadn't been sold. The main gate still had the original lock. I left the character Xia on the mailbox in front of the door. A new map immediately appeared in my head. Territory expanded by 500 square meters. Reward, 100 points. I smiled slightly. This is more like it. I continued sweeping other villas. Of the first few, only 2 were furnished. The rest were rough houses. Didn't see a soul. Arriving at the 9th villa, I discovered a car parked in the small flower garden in front of the door. There wasn't much dust on the car window. Seems the people inside haven't left for long. The curtains of the villa were drawn tight. I knocked on the door. The knock echoed in the quiet villa area, but there was no movement inside. When I intended to pry the door open, I heard very faint footsteps. There are definitely people inside, and living people. This made me a bit conflicted, although it is the apocalypse now. Asking me to casually kill a fellow human who hasn't provoked me is still a bit uncomfortable. I decided to spare them for now. Just turned to leave. The door behind opened. To expand territory, I led the dogs to a villa area not far from the shelter. Unexpectedly, while searching villa number 9, I met the first living person since the apocalypse started. Inside the house, behind him were his wife and a 5 or 6-year-old girl. Except for this place, everywhere else is my territory. Do not enter. Having said that, I turned and walked toward another villa. Even if it's the apocalypse, asking me to kill fellow humans for no reason is a bit uncomfortable. The man suddenly called me back. There are man-eating zombies in there. Don't go. I didn't turn my head. Continued walking towards the last villa, number 10. Not long after, 3 thuds sounded. 3 zombies were instantly eliminated. Killing zombies is just a small matter to me. Surprisingly, in the head of one zombie, I found a crystal core. This thing was bought by many bases at high prices in my past life. Definitely has a use. At this moment, a familiar voice sounded in my head. Detected zombie crystal core. Opening new points exchange channel. 1 ordinary level 1 zombie crystal core. Value 100 points. Do you want to exchange? I decisively chose to exchange. The crystal core in my hand disappeared. A notification immediately sounded in my head. Reward 1 bottle of white medicine. 1 life-saving pill. 1 combat suit. 1 revolver. Truly an unexpected harvest. Just the white medicine and life-saving pill alone are worth 120 points. I saw this revolver in the weapon interface. Seems to need over 5,000 points. I put everything into the space. I swept through the basement again. Collected quite a few good things here. A cabinet of expensive wine. Gold bars and jewelry in the safe. In addition, there was a motorcycle and 2 sports cars in the garage. Now they're all mine. When leaving, I wrote a large Xia on the main gate. The territory map in my head also added the area of this villa. At this point, this villa area, except for villa number 9, all been occupied by me. Just walked to the main road. A family of 3 appeared in front of me. It was the family from villa number 9. Miss, can we make a trade with you? I am a botanist. Can grow new types of plants. Want to exchange some food with you. He told his daughter to bring up a large box of green vegetables and bean sprouts. I looked at these things and raised my eyebrows. Aren't you afraid I'll rob everything? The man shook his head. Growing these things isn't complicated for me. He raised his hand to signal. A pot of bean sprouts in the box grew at a visible speed. I immediately understood he was a wood element ability user. No wonder he could keep his wife and child alive in the apocalypse for over a month. able to stay safely at home, protecting his wife and child. Truly has some skill. It's just that with only vegetables, children will suffer from malnutrition. But I basically don't need them. You keep them for yourselves to eat. Vegetables in my house are so plentiful, I can't finish them. No need to trade. I just turned to leave. The man panicked. Immediately called me back. Miss, what do you need? Our whole family can work for you. We'll give you half of the green vegetables produced every day. I was walking when a notification sounded in my head. Detected territory residents applying to join. Accepting territory residents will reward 300 points. Receive residents special attribute. I immediately cheered up. Agreed instantly. Receive the other party's special attribute. This is too awesome. And Wang Yumin and his wife looked at me, suddenly like seeing an existence needing admiration and awe. Involuntarily wanted to obey. At the same time, I felt an unusual energy circulating in my body. I reached out and touched the girl's pot of vegetables. Vegetables in the box immediately grew like crazy. Speed was much faster than when he controlled it. Wang Yumin and his wife saw this scene. Thought I was a more powerful ability user. Both grateful and terrified. Capable herself, yet still willing to accept them. Truly too benevolent. I carved a large xia on the mailbox in front of their house. The map of this area was finally completely filled. From today on, I am your lord. I will ensure your safety. Later there will be rewards based on contribution. Wang Yumin and his wife excitedly agreed repeatedly. In the apocalypse, the most needed things are protection and food. I told their daughter, Wang Wenduo, come with me to get supplies. Anyway, this place isn't too far from my shelter. Considering their home, probably can't preserve things for long. The first time I didn't give too much. Just a bag of rice. A carton of milk, a tray of fresh eggs, and 10 caddies of pork. I hung the items on the cart. Told Hong Zhong and Bai Ban to pull the cart. Escort the girl back while at it. Later, their family's products will also be brought by the girl every day. The next day, Wang Wenduo came to deliver daily products. A box of green vegetables. Half bean sprouts. Half cabbage. Detected a territory household producing. Reward, 3 points. When receiving vegetables, the system sounded a notification. Turns out every day I receive territory products. I can also receive points. The amount seems to be calculated by population. Wang Yumin's family has 3 people, contributing 3 points every day. I was overjoyed. When leaving, I rewarded the girl with a bag of seeds and a lollipop. Go back and tell your parents to plant something else. Yes, Lord. Wang Wenduo answered obediently. Under the escort of Bai Ban and Hong Zhong, the girl brought the things home. After the girl left, I took out the map, planned the next area to occupy. To the left, reaching the villa area is almost done. To the right is the main road. On that road, there are many refugees turned zombies. Currently better not to touch it. Expanding north might encounter people from base K1. Thinking for a while, I still decided to head south. Towards City A, I drove the armored vehicle straight south. Cleared an uninhabited area of about 20 acres along the main road. I had the dog pack exterminate all zombies wandering in the territory. Collected a small amount of supplies, mainly from the crashed cars on the road. Back home to inventory, there were 4.5 bags of rice, half a bag of flour, 5 cases of instant noodles. Spoiled vegetables and bread were all thrown away. Harvest wasn't much, but the points reward was significant. Got 2,000 points. This is also what I need most. The food I stockpiled is enough for several lifetimes. I need points to exchange for high-end supplies in the system shop. In the next few days, I went out to expand territory every day. The map in my head expanded 4 or 5 times. Points were also nearly 7,000. Not far from the dream, AWM sniper rifle. Keep working hard. Just as I planned to grind to 8,000 points in one go, a cluster of red dots suddenly appeared on the territory map in my head. Zombies are gray dots. These are living intruders. Moreover, they are right in the area outside the shelter. Advancing towards my shelter. While I was outside clearing zombies, the phone rang an alarm. I hurriedly opened the surveillance on the phone. Only saw 5 or 6 men in combat gear arriving at the forest in front of the shelter's main gate. My fierce dogs were standing behind the steel mesh fence, barking frantically at them. I transmitted my voice through the surveillance speaker. Warning once only. Get lost within 1 minute. Otherwise, if you get bitten to death, I'm not responsible. Everyone at the scene frowned tightly. eyes focused on the heavily injured man being supported in the middle. The man frowned. A deep voice rang out. "We are guards from Base K1. Currently in trouble. Can you lend a hand?" 59 seconds. "How can you be like this?" "We are in trouble because of saving people." 30 seconds. "I directly cut half the time." "Forget it. Helping is kindness. Not helping is duty. You should moral kidnap. Let's retreat." "But you're injured so badly. Don't know when rescue will arrive." "We have nowhere to retreat to." At this moment, one of the Special Forces soldiers suddenly knelt before the main gate. "Comrade inside. Consider it me, Su Xiaoyang, begging you. Please save our captain. Whatever you want, I will find for you." I was driving the armored vehicle back. Suddenly startled. "Su Shuang, my most loyal younger brother in the past life?" I hurriedly accelerated. Not long after, arrived back. Parked the car in front of them. Just got off the car, I walked straight to the young man kneeling on the ground. "Are you really Su Xiaoyang?" "Yes, I am Su Xiaoyang." "Cool." A group of people looked at each other blankly. Although not understanding what happened, they still hurriedly followed in. I wasn't worried about letting them in. 1. I trust Su Xiaoyang's character. 2. These remnants can't last a minute in my hands. Su Xiaoyang hurriedly called me. "Miss, do you have medicine here? Our boss is about to not make it." I looked at the captain who had fainted on the ground. "Saving him, what benefit do I get?" "Miss, as long as you can save the captain. Whatever request, I will definitely fulfill." Su Xiaoyang's face was extremely serious. I was waiting for this sentence. I smiled meaningfully. "Simple. I want you." Su Xiaoyang immediately turned red from neck to ears. Speechless for a long time. His comrades looked at him with indescribable eyes. Is this being eyed by a demoness? Planning to keep him as a bandit husband? "Miss, I'm a person. What do you want me to do?" "I want you to stay and be my subordinate. From now on, sell your life only to me." "That won't do. I still have to return to the army with everyone." "Then take your time to think. If you want to save him, stay." I turned to leave. Looking at my back, Su Xiaoyang clenches fists. "Miss, can you really save my captain?" "Of course, as long as there is one breath left. I guarantee he won't die." I was extremely certain, with the system's life-saving pill. Just that confident. Su Xiaoyang was silent for 3 seconds. Replied solemnly, "If you can save the captain, from now on, my life, Su Xiaoyang's, is yours." "Xiaoyang." Su Xiaoyang's comrades worried, as if the next second I would eat him. I looked at this group of people, expressionless. Today, to recruit the treasure, Su Xiaoyang, I have used up all my patience. I looked at Su Xiaoyang. "Carry him and follow me inside." Inside the shelter, I told Su Xiaoyang to put the person on the ground, then took out a life-saving pill and fed it to their captain. Su Xiaoyang saw their captain was much better, heart full of gratitude. "Miss, from now on, my life, Su Xiaoyang's, is yours." I looked at him with satisfaction, knowing that his words were a lifelong promise. "My name is Manhwa. Just call me boss from now on." "Yes," he replied decisively. At this moment, in my head immediately, a notification sounded. Detected an additional guard for the base. Reward, 1,000 points. 1 combat suit. Received guard's special attribute. I felt the fluctuation in my body. I remember Su Xiaoyang is a water element ability user. I also received his ability. I gifted the newly received combat suit to him and gave him a bottle of white medicine from the system shop. "All right, don't stand there dazed. Go to the bathroom to treat wounds and change clothes." Not long after, Su Xiaoyang changed clothes and came out, making an excuse to go out and check on his brothers. I knew he definitely tested the effectiveness of the white medicine. Wanted to bring some out for his brothers to use, so I casually nodded in agreement. At noon, I took out rich ingredients, made a table full of food to treat Su Xiaoyang. His brothers also benefited. Got to eat the best meal since the apocalypse arrived. Everyone ate several bowls. I took the opportunity to encourage. "If you work for me, there will be meat every day." Just then, a cold male voice sounded. "Miss Manhwa, thank you for your kindness." The people eating immediately ran over excitedly. "Captain, Captain." Only Su Xiaoyang stayed in place. Although there was joy in his eyes, he still stood firmly beside me. "Thank you for taking care of my subordinates while I was injured. I, Lu Qian, am extremely grateful. Don't just pay lip service. Gratitude requires practical action." Lu Qian's expression didn't change at all. He took a Ziploc bag out of his backpack. Inside was full of transparent, glittering zombie crystal cores. Is this okay? My eyes immediately lit up. Snatched the bag. Estimated 30 or 40 pieces. All right, barely enough. You can go. The others immediately packed their things. Lu Qian looked at Su Xiaoyang, standing in place. Xiaoyang, why aren't you leaving? Captain, he can't leave. He sold himself to that big sister to save you. Su Xiaoyang stood in place. Took his badge out of his pocket. Captain, I can't go back with you anymore. Lu Qian frowned tightly. Voice cold. Special Forces Team C1. Su Shuang, return to the team. Hey, that's my person. Who are you ordering around? Lu Qian looked at me sternly. Miss, I will repay your kindness. But I must take all my people away. My subordinates, not one can be missing. My people, not one can be missing either. 100 crystal cores. No deal. 1,000. No deal regardless of amount. Both sides were in a stalemate. Su Xiaoyang spoke up. Captain Lu, I stay voluntarily. Su Xiaoyang looked at Lu Qian with determined eyes. Lu Qian looked at him the same way. I understood that the bond between everyone in their special forces team wasn't simple. Have you really thought it through? Captain Lu Qian said no more. He accepted the badge in Su Xiaoyang's palm. I'll keep it for you temporarily. You can come back anytime. Su Xiaoyang's eyes were a bit emotional, but finally remained firm. Captain Lu, take care. In the morning, I slept straight until 8 o'clock. With Su Xiaoyang as a subordinate, I became much more leisurely. Every day, he woke up 2 hours earlier than me, cleaned up the vegetable garden outside the shelter. Because of his loyalty, I gave Su Xiaoyang additional access rights to a warehouse, told him to put all supplies there. This warehouse only contains supplies produced and scavenged daily. Most of my food is still stored in the system space. That is my final fallback. In the morning, Wang Wenduo brought resident products every day. Lord, these are the seeds you gave me last time. My dad grew strawberries. I saw among the food Wang Wenduo brought today. There was an extra small box of bright red, juicy, fresh strawberries. My eyes lit up. Didn't expect he really grew them. I was very satisfied with this. I took another bag of wheat seeds for the girl. Rewarded an extra bag of candy. Take it back to your dad. Tell him to continue planting. Do well, and there will be rewards. Yes. Thank you, Lord. My dad asked, do you have salt? We want to exchange for some. I turned to get a bag of salt. While at it, wrote a list of daily supplies. All require points to exchange. A 500g bag of salt costs 1 point. A 5-liter bottle of oil costs 10 points. A bottle of shampoo costs 10 points. An egg costs 1 point, etc. As for points, he must use the food he produces to exchange. 1 caddy of grain for 1 point. I also specially noted, food or scarce items can be purchased at a higher price. This point mechanism is very encouraging. Wang Yumin will definitely put all effort into production to exchange for supplies after seeing it. Finished arranging for the only resident household. I told Xia Tian to lead the dogs to stay and guard the base. Today, I plan to go out with Su Xiaoyang and other dogs to expand territory. Collect supplies. Yesterday on the main road we returned on, there were still quite a few supplies. There seems to be a major accident ahead. All vehicles were stuck there. Go there to expand another area. I sat in my large armored vehicle. Told Su Xiaoyang to drive straight to the area they scouted yesterday. An hour and a half later, we arrived at a highway. Before our eyes was an 8-lane toll booth on the elevated highway. An extremely tragic accident had completely blocked this place. Vehicles front and back were stuck tight. Xiaoyang, you clear the scene down here first. I'll go up to check the situation. I left it below to clear the path and left 2 dogs to help guard. Myself leading the remaining dogs up first. Collect supplies into the space later. Then casually drive a car back. There weren't many zombies near the accident scene. Seems they wandered elsewhere to find food. I walked to the toll booth. A zombie was trapped in the toll booth. It reached out through the window gap, trying to grab me. I casually grabbed a long iron bar, pierced accurately through the window gap, silencing it completely. When pulling it out, also dragged out a crystal core. I contentedly put it in a plastic bag. Truly an unexpected harvest. I casually threw in a game coin. Consider it the toll fee. I checked several cars. Finally found a truck with the keys still in the ignition. Enough gas. Good condition. I marked the truck. We'll drive this one back later. Just need to put some supplies inside. Next, I went to other cars to collect supplies. I tore off the rear lock of a container truck with bare hands. Body rewarded by the system. Strength has reached a perverted level. I opened the container door. Before my eyes was a truck full of express delivery boxes. I didn't spare a single box. Collected them all. Unboxing blind boxes is for later. Now must quickly grab supplies. Finished one truck, then another. Repeatedly. Not long after, I had cleared dozens of vehicles. The only regret was 3 refrigerated trucks. When opened, the stuff inside already stank. The apocalypse has started for over a month. These things needing cold storage spoiled long ago. I had to leave them behind. While regretting, I suddenly saw a gas station not far ahead. I hurriedly led the dog pack, running towards it. In the apocalypse, fuel is a scarce resource. Approaching the gas station, finally saw zombie figures. A large group of zombies was trapped, wandering in the small supermarket. Can see that when vehicles were stuck on the highway, quite a few people ran here for help. Robbing supplies. Pity they still couldn't luckily escape disaster. All turned into zombies. Zombies on the road had all left. Only they were trapped here. Hearing the movement of a living person like me, immediately turned from slow mechanical state to frenzied. I smashed a glass door. Let the zombies inside come out one by one. The dog pack guarded the door. One comes out, kill one. While I found some empty barrels to get gas. The physique of the dog pack has been upgraded by the system. Dealing with these zombies is no problem. Not long after, several barrels of gas were full. But I still felt it was too little. How much is this? Such a big gas station. At least must have 50,000 liters of gas. Calculated at 50 liters to fill a car. Can fill 1,000 cars no problem. I tried using mental power to separate space. I remember when the system rewarded space, it was cubic meter by cubic meter. Should be separable. After separating a space, I hurriedly grabbed the gas nozzle. Started frantically pumping gas. This saves much more effort. Wait until I sucked all the gas dry. I left contentedly. This amount of gas is enough for me to use for a long time. The dog pack also quickly finished dealing with all zombies. Even picked up all zombie crystal cores for me. I used a bag to hold all the crystal cores. Got about over 10 pieces. There was even a level 2 one. Truly a big profit. As for the supermarket, I basically didn't enter. The smell inside was too strong. And I didn't care for those few supplies. The purpose of killing zombies was for these crystal cores. Pity most zombies don't have crystal cores. But today's harvest was very bountiful. I planned to return to the base first. After all, there are dozens of trucks of express blind boxes waiting to be unboxed. Today on the highway, I collected a large amount of supplies and a small bag of zombie crystal cores. I drove a large truck with gas back. Inside was full of JD Express packages. Wait until back to unbox blind boxes. The armored vehicle was driven back by younger brother Su Xiaoyang. He always went ahead to clear the way for me. Not long after, we arrived back at the base. I told Su Xiaoyang to cook first, while I went to research crystal cores and supplies. First, I opened the system shop panel. Exchanged all crystal cores collected today. Total points reached 18,000 points. I spent 8,000 points to buy the AWM I had longed for. This is a high-end AWM with added accuracy and damage effects. The best truth in the apocalypse. At the same time, I also unlocked the 5,000-point high-end shop page. The first item was a gold-colored item. Evolution Fluid Extractor. Selling price, 10,000 points. Limited time, 180 seconds. I click to see details. Evolution Fluid Extractor. Harmlessly extract 100% energy from crystal cores. Evolution fluid can be used to enhance abilities. This is a good thing. I didn't hesitate, closed my eyes, and bought it immediately. Enhancing abilities is truly too important. In my past life, I relied on ruthlessness and tough methods to climb to the position of squad leader in the base. But I didn't awaken an ability. So I wasn't clear how abilities were enhanced. Only knew the higher-ups of major bases emphasized collecting crystal cores. Seems it is related to this ability enhancement. I placed the Evolution Fluid Extractor on the table. It was a small device. On top was a crystal core intake. Below was a liquid outlet. I took out the level 2 zombie crystal core I couldn't bear to use. Put it in, then placed a clean cup at the outlet. After plugging in power, a blue light displayed on the device. In less than 2 seconds, a cup of colorless liquid flowed into the cup. I picked up the cup of transparent liquid. First tried smelling it, then drank half. Evolution fluid had no taste. Even had a bit of indescribable sweetness. Finished drinking. I tried using my ability. Swoosh. The rose pot in front quickly sprouted. Branches visibly became sturdy. Bright roses bloomed on the branches one after another. Feeling of emptiness for a long time. But now after drinking the evolution fluid, body still had no abnormality. My eyes immediately lit up with my previous ability level. Probably could only promote the growth of a branch. Moreover, after using, body would fall into a feeling of emptiness for a long time. But now after drinking the evolution fluid, body still had no abnormality. Now I have two types of abilities, water and wood. I used water control ability towards the bathroom again. Crash. A screen of water like a downpour washed into the bathroom. Powerful impact force directly punched a large hole in the wall. The shelter was built in the mountain. If it were a normal house outside, I'm afraid it could have punched right through. This explosive power amazed me. My current strength is close to the level of ability users 5 or 6 years into the apocalypse. I looked at the evolution fluid extractor with satisfaction. This is truly a super treasure. Can convert and extract 100% of crystal core energy and has no side effects. If known by major bases outside, the whole world would definitely be shaken. I drank the remaining half cup of evolution fluid, saved a little, planned to give Su Xiaoyang a drink. When going out, Su Xiaoyang had finished cooking a table of dinner. I handed the cup over. Xiaoyang, drink some water. Su Xiaoyang drank it all without looking. Finished drinking. His eyes lit up. This water is so sweet. I didn't explain much to Su Xiaoyang. Two people enjoyed a table of delicious food together. His improvement is also a help to me. Ate and drank enough. Su Xiaoyang went to wash dishes, while I went out to inventory the supplies brought back today. Items in the space I haven't touched yet. First deal with this truck full of express packages. Just unboxing these blind boxes is enough to take half a day. I unloaded all packages onto the lawn, about over 500 boxes, piled into a small mountain of supplies. In this truck of express packages, I unboxed imported chocolate, lots of boxes of nuts. Instant noodles and snacks were also plentiful, all brand names. Besides, there were clothes and supplies. I left all men's items for Su Xiaoyang, told him to put other things in the warehouse. What surprised me most was in a pile of blind boxes. I unboxed an unsharpened tang sword. It was a handicraft. I drew the sword from its sheath. Clang! Cold light dazzled the eyes. I held the sword with both hands, swung it in the air. Sharp sword chi swept past. Could feel its attack power was very strong. Slashing zombies will definitely be fine. And ruthless. Good sword. Su Xiaoyang came out of the shelter. Saw the sharp sword. Immediately praised. I looked at him. Know how to sharpen blades? Can try. Leave it to you. I gave the sword to Su Xiaoyang. Over here, the express packages were almost finished unboxing. Early the next morning, just exited the shelter gate, I saw Su Xiaoyang sharpening the sword on the lawn outside. On a large whetstone, the sword was sharpened by him repeatedly. He combined it with his water element ability, continuously washing the blade. After sharpening, Su Xiaoyang held the hilt, swung a fierce chop into the air. A piece of scrap wood was instantly cut in two. Each cut surface was smooth. If this slash hit a zombie, it would definitely be one slash, one life. Like chopping watermelons. He sheathed the sword, handed it to me. The material of this sword is very sturdy, extremely useful. Good job. Next time there's a good sword, I'll leave one for you. He nodded naively. Then, as if remembering something, casually shot a high-pressure water column. Don't know why. Today, the ability seemed suddenly stronger. I looked at his ability, nodded with satisfaction. Of course, I gave him the evolution fluid. Seems later, besides exchanging points, zombie crystal cores must be kept partially to make evolution fluid. Supplement a little every day. Both our abilities can increase rapidly. In a flash, 10 days passed. These 10 days, we went out to expand territory every day. Kill zombies. Collect crystal cores. We killed all the way to the outskirts of the city. Cleared all zombies from the shelter to the suburbs, but only collected over 30 crystal cores. Although crystal cores were few, the ability enhancement brought by evolution fluid was visible to the naked eye. Both our abilities are progressing rapidly. Besides, I also discovered another domineering product in the system shop. Integrated reconnaissance and attack drone system. Detailed introduction said it can control multiple drones simultaneously to patrol the territory. Detecting intruders will automatically alarm. Can also confirm attack with one button. Looking very tempting. Just that its price needs 100,000 points. And limited purchase within 10 days. The next small goal is it. But zombies nearby have been killed clean by me. I must find a crowded place to kill zombies. I opened the electronic map. I stopped at a large food processing factory in the suburbs of the city. This is the largest food processing factory in City A. The number of workers reaches tens of thousands. In other words, there are nearly 10,000 zombies inside now. I was immediately interested. 10,000 zombies. If killed all, at least should get a few thousand crystal cores, right? Said and done. I immediately found Su Xiaoyang busy outside. Xiaoyang, today we go to the factory for a trip. He didn't say a second word. Dropped the work at hand to go with me. He only has absolute obedience to me. A typical model in the labor world. I still left Xiatian and a few dogs to guard the base, as usual. Led 8 dogs driving the armored vehicle to the food factory. The journey was quite far, but along the way was my territory, so encountered no obstacles. An hour and a half later, we arrived near the factory. This food factory is located in the suburbs of the city, surrounded by tens of miles of farmland, sparsely populated. Workers are managed in a closed system, eating and living in the factory. Only enter the city during holidays. By the roadside, a bus crashed headfirst into the field. Car door wide open. Inside were dried black bloodstains, but not a soul. Can imagine the chaos when the incident happened. The factory's main gate was closed tight. Guard booth empty. The scene was extremely quiet, exuding an indescribable eeriness. Could it be they were on holiday that day? Impossible. Even if rotating holidays, there must be quite a few people in the factory. This place is definitely a key zombie area. I told Su Xiaoyang to floor the gas. The armored vehicle fiercely knocked down the main gate. Entered the vast factory area. A super large complex building quickly appeared before us. Divided into dormitory area, canteen area, workshop, and administrative office building. Car door opened. I, Su Xiaoyang, and 8 dogs stood in front of the factory dormitory building. Start from easy places to kill first. Gong undicesimo. Congratulations. Fa. Chai. Prosperity. You all stay to guard the door. Notify immediately if there is an abnormal situation. The dogs all obeyed orders to guard in place, ensuring the safety of the exit. This way can avoid being surrounded by zombies outside while killing halfway. Stepping into the building. The long corridor before eyes was extremely quiet. All rooms on the first floor had doors closed tight. I threw a heavy object forward. Sound echoed in the silent dormitory building. Immediately, all closed rooms had noise, but the corridor was still quiet. I cautiously stood in place, waiting for 3 minutes. Very good. Zombies are all locked in rooms. None wandering outside. After determining the safe environment, Su Xiaoyang and I split into 2 directions. One left, one right. Started breaking doors to kill zombies. Opened the first room. 4 or 5 zombies screamed, rushing towards the door. They hadn't seen food for too long. Eyes full of crazy, bloodthirsty light. I swung the tang sword. Cold light flashed in the air. Heads of several zombies were instantly chopped off. I observed inside the dormitory. There were 4 bunk beds. Each had bedding laid out. Seems normal worker dormitory is 8 people per room. There are 5 zombies here. Probably a few went to work night shift. Finished killing one room, then another. With my current speed, 3 minutes can handle one room. Half an hour to clear the first floor. Then use similar method to clear the 5 floors above. One morning, we cleared 1 dormitory building. The whole building had no living people. All zombies. Total killed over 1,000. Collected over 300 crystal cores. There are 2 more dormitory buildings behind. We fought side by side clearing. Every time we finished clearing a building, we rested for 10+ minutes. We ate self-heating rice balls on the armored vehicle for lunch to replenish energy. By evening, we successfully cleared 3 zombie dormitory buildings of the factory. Total killed over 3,500. Collected 1,000 crystal cores. I saw it was getting dark. In the apocalypse, night is 10,000 times more dangerous than day. I never work at night. Moreover, crystal cores are almost enough now. Can go back to exchange for the reconnaissance attack drone system. We go back first. Come again tomorrow. Su Xiaoyang and I just got in the car intending to leave. At this moment, a loudspeaker sounded. Help! Help! On the rooftop of the main building. 20 or 30 people were shouting loudly for help. A banner pieced together from clothes was stretched out in front. Su Xiaoyang saw survivors. Immediately looked at me. There are survivors. Save them? I glanced at the group on the rooftop. 20 or 30 workers standing there. Men and women. Ages from 20 to 40. After starting to develop territory, I need residents to help manage. The group before eyes is the highest quality young labor force. Just that it's already dark now. Even if wanting to accept this group, must wait until tomorrow. Don't save. Word just fell. Su Xiaoyang floored the gas. Drove away. He is truly a ruthless execution machine. Factory is an hour-and-a-half drive from the base. Must enter before it gets completely dark. Range of my territory. 7:30 p.m. We successfully returned to the base. After showering, Su Xiaoyang went to cook, while I stayed in the shelter inventorying loot. Today, total collected 1,148 pieces. Zombie crystal cores. All level 1. Early stage zombies mostly haven't evolved to level 2. I exchanged 1,000 of them for points. 1 level 1 crystal core exchanges for 100 points. Also counted towards the crystal core grand gift pack. Congratulations on receiving 104,000 points. Plus over 30,000 points before. I already have nearly 140,000 points. Finally accumulated enough. I immediately opened the system shop. Spent 100,000 points to exchange for the reconnaissance attack drone system. Congratulations on receiving reconnaissance attack drone system. In an instant, I could feel 24 drones appearing on the territory map in my consciousness. Each drone responsible for monitoring an area. Can attack the ground anytime according to my will. I looked at my base with extreme satisfaction. This domineering defense system, killing zombies all day today, was truly worth it. At the same time, I also unlocked a grand gift pack exchange with crystal cores. I didn't hesitate to choose exchange. Congratulations on receiving a bottle of Yunnan white medicine. Reward, 1 life-saving pill. Congratulations on receiving 1,000 caddies of fresh beef. Congratulations on receiving 100 solar panels. Not bad. A very practical grand gift pack. Has medicine, has supplies. Also has energy panels. Unexpectedly at this moment, the system sounded again. Detected exchanged over 1,000 crystal cores. Reward, mental ability. Hearing this reward, I was completely shocked. Even calm and experienced as I am, I didn't expect it could reward an ability. And it's the rare and hard to find mental ability. It is a peak existence. I looked toward the dog pack beside me. A faint red color appeared on their bodies. This is the manifestation of their combat power. I could also see blue and green light moving on my own body. This is my water and wood abilities. Seems mental ability can see others' combat power and ability type. As for other capabilities, have to slowly explore later. Today I got up very early, preparing to continue exterminating zombies. Yesterday, we attacked the largest food processing factory in the city. Total killed over 3,000 zombies. But when leaving, we discovered over 10 survivors on the rooftop of the main building. Because after dark, threat from zombies increases greatly. So we had to retreat first. After finishing breakfast, we continued driving the armored vehicle to the factory. Over an hour later, we entered the food processing factory. The main road here was already full of zombies. I guess the loudspeaker yesterday attracted all zombies inside the factory out. I ordered Su Xiaoyang to drive the armored vehicle fiercely, crushing the scattered zombies wandering on the road. Just crushed a section of road. Behind was blocked by dense zombies again. Only then did I discover this zombie killing efficiency is much faster than using hands to chop yesterday. Zombies are very stupid. Basically don't know how to dodge. My armored vehicle weighs 20 tons. Outer shell is all bulletproof type. Therefore, when moving amidst the zombie horde, the car didn't have a bit of hesitation. For a whole morning, we were like a road roller, back and forth on the main road. Don't know how many zombies were killed. The survivors on the rooftop, originally hiding, don't know since when also stood there watching. This way of killing zombies seems very stress-relieving, until no new zombies were attracted anymore. We drove the car to the front of the main building, went up the stairs to the rooftop. A group of people looked at me and Su Xiaoyang as if looking at gods. Do you want to follow me? I looked at this group and said, I built a base. Those willing to follow me will be residents of the base. In the crowd, a person named Li Gang reacted first. Then what do you want us to do? Just help me farm. I will give you food and warmth. Within the territory of me, Manhwa, you will be the safest people. Past 2 days, they saw our zombie killing methods. Things that were terrifying in their eyes, but in mine and Su Xiaoyang's hands. Simple as chopping melons and vegetables. I know. Today's method was more like crushing a colony of ants. You saved us. I, Li Gang, and my wife are willing. Li Gang was the first to agree. He held Wang Feng's hand. After Li Gang and Wang Feng agreed, the remaining 10+ people all scrambled to raise hands. They had no reason to refuse. Now zombies are everywhere. They basically have nowhere to go. When these 16 people confirmed following me, a notification sounded in my head. Detected 16 additional residents joining. Reward, 1,600 points. Detected 2 people with strength talent. Reward, strength attribute. Detected 1 person with speed talent. Reward, speed attribute. Among the 16 people I accepted, there were 3 ability users. Their abilities were also copied to me. At the same time, after the system confirmed their resident identity, their eyes looking at me suddenly had added admiration and closeness. Just call me Lord from now on. Yes, Lord. Everyone call me intimately. I took out a crystal core. Everyone listened to orders. Clean up zombie brains. Find the thing inside their heads. Everyone was momentarily still a bit afraid of zombies, but my order gave them an urge to execute. Whoever cleans up more, submits more, will be rewarded. I encouraged them with another sentence. Everyone immediately started running downstairs. Afraid running slow would mean not getting any. Benefit of having residents is many things don't need doing myself. I'm not afraid of them hiding privately. With mental ability, whether anyone hides privately or not, I know at a glance. After assigning tasks, I told Su Xiaoyang to fix the factory main gate. Put my nameplate, while I had more important business to do. This is the largest food processing factory in all of City A, producing many food-related products. I quickly found their warehouse. There was a massive amount of supplies here. Canned rice, rice oil, flour, noodles, white sugar, wide noodles. I collected supplies from one warehouse to another. After collecting all supplies into the space, reserves in the space reached over 100,000 tons. This amount of food, don't say for my current residents. Even if 7 or 8,000 people eat for a lifetime, they can't finish it. Not long after, they finished collecting crystal cores, placed in front of themselves waiting for rewards. Li Gang walked up first. Lord, this is what you wanted. We have collected them all. I used mental ability to scan once. Confirmed none of the 16 people at the scene hid crystal cores. Nodded with satisfaction. You tally the number of crystal cores everyone collected. However many each person collected, reward that many points. What are points? All right, you follow me. To my base. I will tell you how to use points. There are many cars in the factory. Basically all in good condition and drivable. I told them to find a few to follow behind my car. The armored vehicle led the way like a beast, opening a safe path for them. All cars followed the path I opened to return. On the way, I calculated today's achievements. Over 10 tons of food, 16 population, and over 1,000 crystal cores. What surprised me most was there was a level 3 crystal core. Bringing this back will definitely have great use. Everyone follow my car quickly towards the far suburbs. That place is all territory I have swept. I led them to a villa area in the far suburbs. There are 9 empty villas here. Just got off the car not long. Wang Yimin's family walked over. Lord, you arrived. I nodded to signal. Then wave for people on the 5 or 6 cars behind to get off. From now on, you all live here. Find a villa to live in yourselves. Don't run around. Don't cause trouble. Wang Yimin, you lead them to grow food. Produce. Then introduce them to the base rules. Wang Yimin heard and immediately called them over. With more people, they can also help each other. After the zombie outbreak, I accepted a group of residents into my base and set rules for them. All residents joining my base will use the point system. Points can be used to exchange for food, water, daily necessities, and various tools from me. I took out the pre-written list and told them to paste it on the villa area bulletin board. On it was a very detailed point exchange rate for food, as well as how to earn points. The recovery rate is similar. All crops you produce and harvest can be exchanged for points from me. Besides, killing zombies to get crystal cores also has rewards. I held up the crystal core in my hand for everyone to see. Crystal cores you find by hunting zombies yourselves. One piece exchanges for 10 points. Everyone immediately understood. Later in the base. Points are currency. Everyone just needs to work hard to earn points. Alright, Lord. What is our base name? I thought for a moment, then told everyone. Shang-Xia Base, Midsummer Base. From now on you are all residents of Shang-Xia Base. After hearing this name, everyone cheered up. Eyes looking at me immediately became extremely reverent. At this moment, the system voice rang in my head. Super Overlord system activated. Territory, naming successful. Unlocking prosperity. Current prosperity. 60. Reward. Resident loyalty increased by 10%. Base production increased by 10%. These two system rewards are truly too useful, making me extremely moved. I told all residents to find housing themselves. This abandoned villa area they can choose freely. After arranging for everyone, I and younger brother Su Xiaoyang left here together. Returned to my shelter. I showered first, then ate a simple meal. Next, I started counting my loot today. Over 1,000 level 1 crystal cores and 1 level 3 crystal core. I drank all the evolution fluid made from the level 3 crystal core. This greatly enhanced my ability again. The next day, I started busy solving water source issues. Power source, basic supplies. For residents, I installed 100 solar panels received earlier in the villa area, providing stable power source for residents. Regarding water source, I organized everyone to dig wells, using the same water system as the spring water in my shelter. Under my arrangement, land near the villa area was reclaimed. High yield and fast-growing crops like potatoes. Sweet potatoes were planted. 2 days later, everyone had started labor production. My base has truly gotten on track. But at the same time, I also felt I was missing something very important. That is manpower. Just then, a voice suddenly rang in my head. Super Overlord system activated. Attack and occupy the joint pharmaceutical R&D factory. West of City A. Reward host with electronic butler system. System rarely assigns missions, but every time is a powerful help. This electronic butler must be a very good helper. Early the next morning, I immediately called Su Xiaoyang to set off for the pharmaceutical R&D factory. Car drove for 2.5 hours. Arrived at this factory by noon. This factory is extremely remote. Surrounding few kilometers only has this solitary 6-story building. The entire exterior is pure white. Security equipment at the door is extremely advanced, just that there is no one here either. Is it this place? Looking at the map, it should be here. Just why does it look so familiar? We stop in front of the factory main gate. Strangely, the gate of this factory was open. Feels like someone already entered. After entering the gate, we were extremely vigilant. Drove around the outside of the joint pharmaceutical factory building. First must determine the terrain clearly. See how many exits this building has. Rough directions. When encountering any danger, what escape routes are there? After going around the building, I gathered the following information. This building only has one entrance and exit, the main door. Looking from outside, it only has 6 floors above ground. But on the side, I saw signs for the underground garage. After 2 rounds, determined there were no zombies outside. I parked the armored vehicle at the main entrance. Just need to confirm no zombies inside this building come out. Then erect a sign, and it counts as completely occupying this place. Su Xiaoyang and I carefully walked in. What surprised me was I discovered the doors of this pharmaceutical factory were wide open. The two of us followed the emergency exit. Checked every room from the 1st to the 6th floor of this building. Surprisingly discovered this 6-story building didn't have a single zombie. This mission was so simple I was a bit embarrassed. No traces of people or zombies. Seems like it was evacuated beforehand. A bit strange. You check the last few rooms again. I also walked into an office on the top floor. Computers here were actually still connected to power. Just that all had top-level passwords. Didn't find any useful information, but found a little. Supplies here. All instant noodles, sausages, and braised eggs. No matter what, can't leave empty-handed. I displayed the tradition of thrift and environmental protection. Put everything edible into the space. Not long after, Su Xiaoyang also finished checking. The bag on his back was bulging. Must have collected quite a lot. Supplies. This building has an independent power system. Elevator still working. I pressed the elevator button to go down on the top floor. Not long after, the elevator arrived. Su Xiaoyang and I looked at each other. Two people stood apart on two sides. Ground floor checked. Elevator naturally must be checked too. Elevator stopped at our top floor. When the door opened, it was still empty. Now only basement B1 hasn't been checked. Just need no zombies there either, then this research factory counts as completely occupied. I reached out to press the elevator when it automatically started going down. I immediately became alert. The screen in front of me displayed basement B1. This means someone in basement B1 is pressing the elevator. Could there be other people here? If not people, it can only be zombies. Zombies know how to press elevators? A feeling of scalp numbness appeared in the elevator. I suddenly thought of something. Although I've never been to the location of this joint pharmaceutical R&D factory. In my past life, I heard a zombie king appeared here. No wonder I felt this location was familiar. This is the place I marked as a forbidden zone in my past life. In this life, I just came straight here. After the zombie outbreak, we went to a pharmaceutical research institute to search for supplies. Unexpectedly, just as we stepped into the elevator, it automatically went down to basement B1. Is there someone below pressing the elevator? Not necessarily a person. Could also be too many zombies accidentally touching the elevator button. Whether person or zombie, Su Xiaoyang and I were both ready for battle. Not long after, the elevator door finally opened. In front of the elevator door was a woman and two special forces members. Who are you? Who allowed you to come here? The woman wearing white combat gear asked with an interrogating tone. Why can't we come here? This pharmaceutical research factory has secrets. Important. Unauthorized personnel, please leave immediately. I found it a bit funny. Already the apocalypse, yet still talking bureaucracy with me. Then what if I don't leave? Seeing both sides about to clash. A familiar voice suddenly rang out. Captain Wang, these two are my friends. Lu Qian walked over from somewhere. Behind him were several members of his team. After seeing Lu Qian, that woman didn't say anything more. But her expression, still full of arrogance. If Lu Qian wasn't here, I would have kicked her flying long ago. But now I have to probe the situation first. Captain Lu, long time no see. Captain Lu, why are you here? Nothing. Just out for a walk. What mission are you doing? This is a secret. I can only say it's very dangerous here. There are many zombies inside. You better leave immediately. It's fine. You don't need to care about us. Just do your work. Lu Qian didn't say anything more. Led team members inside. Su Xiaoyang and I follow behind. Having someone lead the way saves me trouble. This entire basement looks like an underground research institute. Through the glass, can see many laboratories inside. Arriving at a large hall, Su Xiaoyang and I rested in place, while they searched office by office. After about 1 or 2 hours of searching, they returned empty-handed. Lu Qian told everyone to rest in place for half an hour. During that time, that woman surnamed Wang conjured several lunchboxes from thin air. Only then did I know she was also a space element ability user. After taking out all supplies, she even turned back to look at me with eyes provocative, as if showing off to me. At this moment, Lu Qian walked over. Open a lunchbox. I'm not hungry. Give this to you guys to eat. I glanced at that meal. Inside was a portion of cabbage and 2 steam buns. I knew he was probably worried we didn't bring food, so offered his portion. No need. We brought food. Xiaoyang, take food out of the backpack. Only saw Su Xiaoyang put down the backpack on his back. Took out 3 large iron boxes. The first box was full of sliced braised beef. The latter 2 boxes had ribs and rice. Those people surnamed Wang over there were all stunned. How does this family have so much meat to eat? Captain Lu, you eat some too. Lu Qian was momentarily a bit embarrassed. You guys go ahead and eat. After all, he is a superior of base K1. Still have to give face to others in the base. Finished eating. They continued going deeper to search. I still waited outside. Anyway, just need to confirm no zombies inside here. Go out and erect my sign, then my system mission counts as complete. But not long after, gunshots rang out, followed by that woman, surnamed Wang, running out first. Huh, Lu Qian. My father said, if possible, best to let all of you die here. Hey, did you forget there are 2 people here? She seemed to think nothing of us. Raised the gun, intending to deal with both of us. However, the next second, she fell to the ground, became a corpse. I basically didn't need to act. Su Xiaoyang's drawing speed was 100 times faster than hers. Supplies in the woman's space also fell out. Just that her space was clearly very small. Looking at these supplies, probably only a few square meters. You go see if anything happened to Lu Qiyin and the others. I intentionally sent Su Xiaoyang away, and he was clearly also very worried about the safety of his old comrades. Just uneasy leaving me alone. I collected all scattered supplies into the space. Some people are useless when alive. Die and contribute instead. Over 10 minutes later, we arrived on the ground. Su Xiaoyang was taking care of his old comrades. Lu Qiyin had woken up. Thank you, Miss Manhwa. Save me once again. No problem. Don't forget me when there are good things later. Through Lu Qiyin's account. Only then did I know that woman's father was a high-ranking official in politics before the apocalypse. Now also one of the persons in charge of Base K1. The other person in charge of Base K1 is Lu Qiyin's grandfather. Seems the opponent wanted to take this opportunity to eliminate Lu Qiyin's elite troops. What happened to you inside? She activated the poison gas switch in a laboratory and locked us in. I can imagine the scene at that time. Thinking of this, I suddenly used mental power to look at Lu Qiyin. Surprisingly discovered 3 lights moving on Lu Qiyin's body. This means he has 3 types of abilities. Thunder, ice, and light. My heart suddenly skipped a beat. Could it be I saved the zombie king of the past life? The more I thought, the more possible it seemed. In my past life around this time, Image Shu Xiaoyang, his comrades had all died. If Lu Qiyin was alive, he couldn't have not gone looking. After all, he knew where they came from. Moreover, Lu Qiyin is a triple element ability user. The zombie king of the past life also came from here. Also a triple element ability zombie. Not long after, other team members also regained consciousness. Lu Qiyin also prepared to lead subordinates away. All right, do you have business coming here? Need us to help? No need. Xiaoyang. Can put up our sign now. Su Xiaoyang skillfully took a sign out of the backpack and nailed it to the Research Institute gate. Everyone looked at his skilled movements. Simultaneously fell silent. Could it be crossing mountains and rivers, risking danger to come here just to expand territory? When leaving, Lu Qiyin asked for my walkie-talkie frequency for convenient contact later. After the apocalypse, contact can only rely on this thing. Sent them off. We also hurriedly returned to the shelter. Mission complete. My electronic butler finally arrived. After the zombie outbreak, I drove the armored vehicle in the city. Destination was a livestock farm in the western suburbs. I remember there was a super large pig farm there. In my past life, I went there with base people to collect supplies, but arrived late at that time. Although zombie virus doesn't infect animals. But those pigs, after no one took care of them, all starved to death. Died of illness. Finally rotted. Looking at it then felt truly pitiful. In the apocalypse, that is the most luxurious thing. Yet wasted like that. Now, I must get there before those pigs starve to death. Just getting a little is enough for me to eat for a lifetime. Not long after, I relied on memory to arrive at the farm periphery. But just arrived, heard gunshots. Seems someone beat me to it. I parked the car by the roadside far away to observe. Discovered this group was very amateur. Only dared to shoot at the door, but didn't dare go in. According to my estimate, there shouldn't be too many zombies here, because this location is very remote. Within a radius of 10 plus kilometers, there is only this farm. Zombies outside usually won't come here. Inside at most are those farm workers from that time. Waited a while. I also started getting impatient. Just as I was about to lose patience. Finally, they went in. I wasn't afraid of them entering first. First, looking at their appearance just now. Probably hard to survive. Second, even if luckily surviving, they can't take much advantage. Not long after, several gunshots rang out inside, followed by a few miserable screams. I guess it was likely the first case. After that, I drove my armored vehicle straight in. Just as I predicted, inside only remained a few zombies. These zombies were very stupid. I directly used the armored vehicle to run over back and forth a few times, then saw no zombie standing firm. Getting off the car, I accidentally stepped on a book. I squatted down to pick it up, and look, book titled Postpartum Care for Sows. It's a good book. Might be useful later. After putting the book away, I walked towards the pigsty. Haven't walked long before smelling an unpleasant stench. Luckily, I arrived in time, although pigs in the sty were skinny as bones. But 70% were still alive. I looked at the large pigsty before my eyes. Caught the live pigs from one pen to another into my space. Here is truly too smelly. Raising pigs truly isn't something anyone can do. I continued walking towards the next pigsty, just as I was catching pigs in the third sty. I suddenly felt a gaze sweep over from behind. Who's there? Come out quickly. In the corner of the pigsty, a man wearing sunglasses stood up. After he came out, grinned looking at me. Turns out you're also a space element ability user. At this moment, I also recognized him. Seems to be a person from the team just now. Surprisingly, he didn't die. Who exactly are you? The man wearing sunglasses raised both hands. I have no malice. I just want to join you. Join me? Correct. I see you are very strong. I want to join your team. Then what do you have for me to accept you? The man heard me speak, took off the sunglasses, revealing a gray-white zombie eye. Kin Giskivika. I blurted out. How do you know my name? Chin heard me call his name. Raise his eyebrows. At this moment, my heart surged. As a person who lived 10 years in the apocalypse, I naturally know some famous figures from the past life. Half-zombie Chin Ko. He was the only person infected with zombie virus who didn't turn into a zombie. This guy relied on his strange physique of not being bitten by zombies to run rampant everywhere in the apocalypse. Just that this guy never did good deeds. I looked at Chin Ko applying to join. Hesitated in my heart. Kill or not kill? Killing is a pity. Not killing is a threat. Thinking of the special nature of my system. As long as a person joins my side, their special attribute will be copied by me. His half-zombie physique. I must obtain it. I agree to let you join. Wait, beautiful miss. I haven't finished speaking. I join you. What treatment do you give me? I smiled, yet not smiling. Definitely give you the best treatment. Follow me, meet for 3 meals. Then okay, I join you. As soon as he agreed to join, in my head immediately rang a voice. Detected an additional guard for the base. Reward, 100 points. New guard's loyalty insufficient, below 60. Cannot unlock special attribute. I was momentarily a bit speechless. This guy is truly a pitfall. He doesn't even have the qualifications to unlock special attributes. But to get his special constitution, I still have to pretend to be patient. Chinko, what do you like? As the captain, I should definitely give you something. Captain Beauty, if you really want to give me something, why not give me your heart? I fell in love with you at first sight. Seriously, I really can't hold back anymore. From kicking this guy to the ground. If it weren't for the system, I might have actually believed his demonic words. Get to work for me. Drive all the live pigs out here. If you're one step too slow, I'll rip your heart out and feed it to the pigs. This guy didn't even get angry. He just got up and went into the pigsty to drive the pigs out. The sty is filthy and stinks. It's the perfect place for him to suffer a bit. Half an hour later, I had collected all the live pigs from the sty into my space. As for the remaining dead pigs, I had Chin could drag them to a pit. This guy's body is already semi-zombified. His strength and speed seem to have been enhanced as well. He works very quickly. After burying all the dead pigs, I poured gasoline on them and set them on fire. These pigs had been dead for a while. They were rotting and couldn't be eaten. Leaving them around would only breed bacteria and viruses. To avoid future plagues, they had to be burned first. Throughout the process, Chin didn't say much. He just watched me with a wide grin. Who knows what he's plotting? After handling everything, I led him back to the vehicle. Soon, we reached the armored car. When he saw my armored vehicle, he looked at it with excitement. Captain Beauty, where did you get this treasure? Ask what you should ask. Don't ask what you shouldn't. I replied coldly, but he remained very enthusiastic. Captain Beauty, where are we going now? Do we have a base? No, we're going somewhere else to collect supplies. I certainly couldn't take him back to the shelter. My charitable little brother, Su Zhaoyong, is guarding that place now. I know a place with a lot of supplies. In the new urban district, there's a 3-story supermarket. Let's go there. We drove the armored vehicle toward the urban district. Although I knew this guy was definitely up to something, with my strength, I wasn't worried. Most importantly, I must obtain his semi-zombie constitution. In this zombie apocalypse, it's practically a cheat code. After the zombie outbreak, I drove my armored vehicle through the city. The zombies wandering the streets were all crushed to pieces. My destination was the new urban district on the outskirts. There's a large, 3-story supermarket there. It's bound to have a lot of supplies. About half an hour later, I arrived at the new urban district in the east. This is a suburb of City A. It had been developing quite well in recent years. Initially, there were only a few small villa complexes. Later, several new residential areas were built. Unfortunately, the occupancy rate was not high. There were also several abandoned projects. When the apocalypse came, this place became even more desolate. In the empty buildings, a few zombies would occasionally appear. Smelling the living, they charged toward us like madmen. My vehicle didn't stop at all. It just plowed a path through them with a series of thuds. I drove straight to my destination, the large supermarket of the urban district. Many zombies were gathered in front of the supermarket. It was obvious there were people who had tried to raid the supermarket after the apocalypse began. Unfortunately, the outcome was tragic. Out of 10 who went in, you'd be lucky if one came out alive. As soon as the vehicle stopped, the zombies swarmed us. I looked at Chin-ku sitting in the passenger seat. You get out first. Go into the supermarket and scout the way. Inside the car, Chin-ku was a little reluctant. Captain Beauty, it's full of zombies out there. Zombies don't bite you. What are you afraid of? If you want to join my team, you have to be useful. Chin-ku was the man I met yesterday. He has a semi-zombie constitution. Zombies don't bite him at all. After he reached the supermarket entrance, he waved at me, signaling that there were no problems inside. I wasn't idle either. I drove the armored vehicle back and forth a few times. Soon, the surroundings became much quieter. After entering the supermarket, I slowly observed the first floor. There were no lights in the supermarket. It was very dark inside. Before long, Chin-ku ran back. Captain Beauty, Eva checked. There are no zombies on the first floor. It's very safe, and there are plenty of supplies inside. I nodded. And then? Let's go inside and take a look first. In my past life, I had heard of Chin-ku's reputation. This guy was known for being insidious and cunning, so I always had to be on guard around him. When we reached the center of the mall, Chin-ku suddenly spoke up. Captain Beauty, you don't seem to trust me very much. If you think that, then you should consider whether it's you who doesn't trust me. It was clear he had his own schemes. Neither of us was a good person. Just then, I noticed the boxes of chocolates, and high-energy candy bars on the shelves were all empty. Chin-ku also seemed to have noticed the clue. There's someone here. They must be hiding. I immediately took out my gun. From my space, I slowly crept forward. Along the way, I found that the food shelves inside had been almost completely looted. It wasn't until we reached the door of a staff room that two people suddenly rushed out. A white-haired old woman was leading a boy of 13 or 14. What took you so long to get here? Hurry up and get us out of here. The old woman saw the gun in my hand and immediately assumed I was a soldier. Her commanding tone was very annoying. Before I could get angry, another voice rang out. Grandma, look who's next to her. It's that homewrecker's bastard son. Why isn't he dead yet? In an instant, both of their gazes fell on Chin-ku, who was hiding in the shadows behind me. Chin-ku seemed to have run into an acquaintance. He lowered his head and let out a chilling laugh. Captain Beauty, why don't you go up to the second floor and gather supplies first? I have some acquaintances here. I need to deal with something. I graciously agreed. Just as I was about to leave, the old woman blocked my way. Where do you think you're going? You're not going anywhere. Is this man your teammate? What kind of people do you recruit? Recruiting this kind of trash as a teammate? Get rid of him immediately. Let me tell you, the biggest real estate company in province A belongs to our Chin family. My youngest son is the deputy mayor of City B. Get us out of here. Once you find them, you'll be well rewarded. Grandma, I want to go outside. I want to go out and eat fried chicken. I don't want to stay in this place anymore. The old woman comforted her grandson, then said to me, Did you hear that? Hurry up and make arrangements for us. Don't let my grandson suffer. Of course, you have to get rid of this piece of trash. This vermin first. Our Chin family doesn't have such lowlifes. At this, Chin-ku lowered his head. Even though he was wearing sunglasses, I could see the smile on his lips growing more and more cruel. As for me, I was so annoyed by this old woman that I pointed my gun directly at her mouth. Who are you calling trash? Vermin? You dare to insult my man? The old woman was stunned by my gangster-like aura, but the boy was still arrogant, shouting, We're right. His mother is a slutty homewrecker who climbed into my dad's bed. Both of them are like beggars, always clinging to our family, trying to scam us out of money. He's even been to prison. He was sent to juvie when he was 13. Scamming, cheating, stealing. He's done it all. Our family doesn't have trash like him. If you dare to harm us today, we'll have our youngest uncle kill you. You're a bitch too. Chin-ku kicked the screaming boy away. He turned his head and gave me a faint smile. Captain Beauty, leave this to me. Don't worry about it. I didn't say a word. I put away my gun and turned to head for the second floor. As I was on the second floor collecting daily necessities, Agonizing screams echoed from downstairs. I pretended not to hear them. In the apocalypse, it's a miracle that people like them have survived this long. Right now, I'm short on daily supplies. I looked at the shelves full of shampoo and body wash. I took it all. Into my space. There was also a whole wall of toilet paper and sanitary pads. I took all of those too. Into my space. Luckily, none of it had expired. Once in my space, I can use them anytime. After clearing out the entire second floor, I went up to the third. This floor was all clothes, shoes, and various garments. I didn't care if they were useful or not. I took everything into my space. After all, my space is big enough. I can take them back and sell them to the residents for points. Just as I was happily clearing out supplies, the roar of a sports car engine echoed from downstairs. I immediately sensed something was wrong. I rushed down to the first floor just in time to see a convertible speed past me. Chin-ku, in the car, waved enthusiastically at me. Captain Beauty, I'm leaving first. Thanks for the supplies. We'll meet again if fate allows. Looking at the empty first floor hall, I finally realized Chin-ku is also a spatial ability user. I stomped my foot in anger. I've only ever scammed others. Today, for the first time, I was the one who got scammed. Luckily, he couldn't drive my armored vehicle. Otherwise, the loss would have been even greater. Kin Kiskiviko, I'll remember you. The mountains are high, and the rivers are long. If I don't get revenge for this, I'm not fit to be human. After the zombie outbreak, I opened a self-service supermarket in the base. The residents' quality of life improved significantly. Because I had completed the system's mission, I was rewarded with a super electronic butler. Master, I have connected to all electronic devices in the base. I will monitor and manage all affairs in the base for you, anytime, anywhere. From now on, I'll call you Shang-Xia. Intruder detected. Immediately dispatch drones to attack. Yes, my dearest master. Shang-Xia will definitely not fail you. Also, help me design a point exchange system. I'll take it to the residential area tomorrow. Shang-Xia quickly helped me build the system. I just need to install a computer in the residential area, and Shang-Xia can handle it directly. The next day, Su Zhaoyang and I brought a truck full of supplies to the villa area, where the 19 remaining residents of my base lived. I chose an unoccupied villa and parked the truck. The residents who were working saw me and enthusiastically gathered around to greet me. At that moment, Wang Wenduo came running over. Lord, you're here. I was just about to go look for you. What for? To exchange for supplies from the Lord? Wang Wenduo obediently took out a piece of paper. It was covered with a dense list of items. From now on, you can buy whatever you want. I waved my hand. Su Zhaoyang got out a truck. This was the same express delivery truck I had acquired on the highway last time. After Su Zhaoyang got out, he started moving things. The surrounding residents saw this and immediately came to help. Lord, what is this? This is the self-service store of Shang-Xia base. Half an hour later, a supermarket very common before the apocalypse appeared before everyone. Everyone looked at the shelves packed with food. It felt like they were dreaming. They never expected to be able to shop like they did before the apocalypse. In the center of the store was a super large electronic screen. On the screen was the base butler, Shang-Xia. This is the base butler, Shang-Xia. From now on, if any of you want to buy something, just come in here. You don't need to swipe a card. Shang-Xia will use facial recognition to identify your account. The items you take will be automatically charged. Of course, if you have items you want to exchange, just place them on the shelf to the right. There's an electronic scale there. After weighing, Shang-Xia will also automatically update your balance. Wow, I want to try it. Wang Wenduo immediately ran to the snack aisle. She grabbed a lollipop. The little girl unwrapped the candy right in the store and happily ate it. The screen immediately displayed the remaining points for Wang Yumin's family. One lollipop, 0.5 points. Current balance, 99.5 points. When Wang Yumin and his wife saw that a lollipop cost 0.5 points, they were both happy and pained. They were happy because they saw their daughter could eat a snack that was so common before the apocalypse. This is the apocalypse. It's full of zombies outside. Many people don't even have food to eat. But in their base, they could already eat lollipops. But at the same time, they felt a little pained. Points weren't easy to earn. 1 point could be exchanged for a kilogram of rice. At this moment, Li Gang stepped forward. Lord, I want to exchange for some supplies. I've been sprouting some beans sprouts these past few days. Can it be traded? Of course. Li Gang immediately ran back to get his 5 kilograms of bean sprouts and placed them on the scale. After the bean sprout transaction was completed, the screen immediately showed that Li Gang's balance had increased by 2.5 points. For now, I can take the traded supplies back with me. In the future, after each weighing, Shang-Xia will send a drone to collect them. Everyone was overjoyed and excited to see this. One by one, they entered the store. Some bought goods, while others exchanged for points. Inside were all the most common basic supplies: rice, cooking oil, salt, sugar, daily necessities, toilet paper, sanitary pads. There was also a small amount of snacks that could instantly take people back to the pre-apocalypse era. Lollipops, Coke, small loaves of bread. Everyone felt a strong sense of satisfaction. It made them feel like they had returned to the time before the apocalypse. Seeing Shang-Xia base getting better and better, I was also happy from the bottom of my heart. My base must develop steadily, step by step. After setting up the base's self-service store, I returned to my shelter. As for restocking and delivering to the store, Shang-Xia would dispatch drones to transport supplies based on the actual inventory. I didn't need to worry about it at all. You have a new message. Would you like to read it? Someone's looking for me? How'd they find me? They broke in through the walkie-talkie signal. The source is base K1. I immediately thought of Lu Qian. Last time, Lu Qian asked for my walkie-talkie frequency. He really did contact me. My dearest master, Shang-Xia has already automatically replied for you. Would you like to read it? Read it. Next. I heard a dialogue with the artificial intelligence. Is this ManhwaCapped? If so, please reply on this frequency. This is Lu Qian. I have something important to discuss with you. May I ask what you need? Are you ManhwaCapped? I am my master's little secretary. If you have anything to say, just say it. No need to be polite. All right, Shang-Xia. Tell your master. Our base K1 has detected that there will be a massive cold wave at the end of this month. I'm not sure if you have enough supplies over there. If not, I'd like to invite your master to complete a mission together, to attack and occupy the Eastern Regional Grain Reserve. I wonder if she's interested. I will relay the message for you. Esteemed Mr. Lu Qian. Goodbye, Shang-Xia. My dearest master, that was the content of the message. Do you need me to reply now? Reply to him. Ask what supplies they have over there, how the resources will be divided, and what the danger level is. Yes, please wait a moment. Shang-Xia directly sent a series of electronic waves as a reply to base K1's walkie-talkie. Soon, Lu Qian's voice came through. ManhwaCapped, the Eastern Grain Reserve has over 10,000 tons of stored grain. Inside, they store rice, corn, and wheat. There's also a very large oil depot. The danger level is not high. There are very few staff in a grain reserve. The area outside is vast and sparsely populated. The only thing is, this operation won't be just you and me. It's a joint operation between Hope Base and our base K1. A few small bases might be allowed to participate. I want to bring you along. I understood. Lu Qian wanted to repay me, so he specially invited me to get a share. Such a good deal. I was naturally happy to agree. After all, I didn't know the location of the grain reserve. As for how to divide it, once we get there, that would depend on each party's strength. After the zombie outbreak, I passed through a long tunnel to visit the largest base in the east, base K1, for the first time. 6 o'clock in the morning. I woke up very early. Today, I'm preparing to head to base K1. While eating breakfast, I heard a car horn outside the shelter. I knew it was the car sent by base K1. Go get a case of instant noodles and a case of pre-cooked meals. Put them in their car, just in case. Su Zhaoyang didn't say a word. He immediately went to move the items. Actually, I was afraid the food at base K1 would be too bad. I might not be used to it. I prepared some in advance to satisfy my cravings. The person who came to pick us up was Tang Jian, the one who had visited my base before. He was also a good friend of Su Zhaoyang. Big sis, the captain sent me to pick you and the others up to go to base K1 early. We'll stay at the base for one night. Tomorrow morning, we'll set off for the grain reserve together. All right. I can also take the opportunity to see what your base is like. Although our base isn't as wealthy as yours, our base has a lot of people. It's very lively. I smiled without saying anything. I got in their car and headed to K1. Actually, I had heard of K1's reputation in my past life. Base K1 was originally established by the military. Its military strength is very powerful. This helped K1 attract a large number of survivors from the very beginning. Soon, a large tunnel appeared before us. Countless steel mesh fences blocked the tunnel entrance. A group of guards stood watch in front of this large tunnel. Many vehicles were parked on both sides of the mountain outside the tunnel. People seeking refuge were gathered in temporary tents set up outside, waiting in line. I knew exactly what they were doing. They were checking to see if anyone among them had been bitten by a zombie. If someone turned during the waiting period, they would be shot dead immediately. All survivors had to be quarantined for a full 24 hours before they could enter Base K1 based on their registration number. Tang Jian's car honked at the main gate. The strict guards saw Tang Jian's car and removed the quarantine barrier. Then they let it pass straight through. There was no need to wait at all. Under the envious gazes of the survivors waiting outside, the car drove directly into the tunnel. After entering the tunnel, Tang Jian turned his head and looked at me proudly. Our boss is now the deputy manager of the base. Hearing this, I was stunned. It seems my accidental rescue directly changed the situation of Base K1 in this life. When the car exited the tunnel, the view immediately opened up. Before us were rows of densely packed temporary houses. It was mealtime. The residents of Base K1 were like early natives. They all sat on the ground. 3 or 4 people gathered together, gnawing on steam buns. They were wary of everyone. Our car drove on the crowded main road. Pedestrians who saw this car actively moved out of the way. They didn't dare to cause trouble. They all looked with admiration and longing at the car and the people inside. Big sis, these are the newly accepted survivors. The order is a bit chaotic. It gets better further in, Tang Jian said as he drove. I nodded. Soon, rows of small residential houses appeared ahead. The security here was much better. Those who joined the base in the first wave could be assigned this type of housing. They seemed much happier than those in the temporary houses outside. When Tang Jian turned the car onto a side road, the scene before us changed instantly. Neat and tidy buildings stood in rows. Everywhere was clean and orderly. There wasn't a single survivor wandering on the road. Our car wound its way around and stopped in front of a 2-story villa. There was even a small garden in front. Big sis, this is our captain's house. I nodded and got out of the car. A man in casual clothes walked out of the house. Miss Shang-Xia, welcome to Base K1. He turned his head to look at Su Zhaoyang. Zhaoyang, welcome back. Captain Liu, I'm going to go talk with Tang Jian and the others for a bit. I nodded in agreement. At the same time, Lu Qian and I started exchanging pleasantries. Hello, Captain Liu. Your base is so populated and lively. Seeing it today is truly shocking. One look, and I can tell it's because of Captain Liu's excellent management. Once I'm out the door, I'm very polite. You have to exchange some pleasantries upon meeting. It was the first time Lu Qian had heard me praise him. He was a bit embarrassed for a moment. Then he said very seriously, Miss Shang-Xia, if you like it here, you could consider joining our Base K1. I'll give you a good position. Base K1 needs talented people like you. I immediately waved my hand. I was just being polite. Don't take it seriously. Lu Qian also realized he had been overthinking it. He said awkwardly, Have you eaten? Not yet. Have you served dinner at your place? We came here with empty stomachs. Surely you're not going to treat us to something delicious? Let's go. I'll take you to the canteen. On the way, Lu Qian gave a brief introduction to their Base K1. Base K1 is located in a central area surrounded by hills. The main passage is that tunnel, so their base is very safe. But at the same time, they don't have enough arable land to ensure cultivation. With the number of people joining increasing, the base's food supply is extremely scarce. The residents of the base earn points by helping with construction and going out to find supplies. Then they use the points to exchange for food. An ordinary person working for a day can exchange for 1 steam bun. I followed Lu Qian to the second canteen of Base K1. This place is exclusively for the military personnel and management of the base. Lu Qian swiped his card at the canteen machine twice. The first time was free. The second time required deducting points. Very quickly, 2 servings of steamed buns and hot vegetable soup were ready. The steamed buns were whole wheat. The soup was cabbage soup with beef balls. Miss Shang-Xia, our conditions here are a bit poor. Please bear with it. I looked at such a simple meal. Haven't you been promoted already? Why are you still eating this with everyone every day? There's no other way. The supplies here are already insufficient. How about you bring your team and join my base? The conditions here are too harsh. Even my dog would shake its head at this. Lu Qian was a bit speechless, but he didn't refute it. After all, he had seen my dog. It really did eat meat every day. I was still very considerate. I ate half a steamed bun, considering it as having eaten his meal. The vegetable soup with its indescribable taste and the low-quality beef balls. I really couldn't bring myself to eat them. After we finished eating, Lu Qian saw that I hadn't eaten much and took me to the market of Base K1. This was a street that residents had spontaneously set up to exchange goods. Everyone sat on the ground, displaying their items in front of them. Mostly clothes, jewelry, gold, silver, and jade. There was even someone selling bundles of cash. It was obvious that some rich boss had fled with his money after the apocalypse began, only to find that money was the most useless thing. I was very curious as I walked down this big street. Suddenly, I heard a familiar voice. "You're trying to leave without giving me food? Trying to dine and dash?" In front of a temporary house. A middle-aged man at a stall was clinging to the leg of a big guy. I immediately recognized the man clinging to the leg as the good father who had lived with me for 20 years. "What kind of trash dares to say I'm dining and dashing? What did you tell me back then? You said your wife was young and beautiful. Turns out she's an old hag like that." At this moment, my stepmother, Lilin, also came out. She was still adjusting her messy clothes. "Didn't I let you choose? You chose her yourself. Who can you blame? You still dare to say I chose? Your 70 or 80-year-old mother looks like she's about to die. You dare to tell me choose? Anyway, you're not leaving without giving me food. Otherwise, I'll call for people." The big guy was afraid of attracting the attention of the base guards. Extremely annoyed, he took out a packet of instant noodles from his pocket and threw it on the ground. Then he quickly pushed everyone away, stomped on the packet of noodles with one foot, and walked away quickly. The other two immediately pounced like mad dogs to pick up the crushed packet of noodles, shamelessly fighting over it. "Wife, I can still earn more. Let Mom and me eat first. Mom is about to starve to death." "On what grounds? I earned this with my own skills. I should be the one eating it." Just then, a man in his 20s or 30s walked out. He snatched the packet of instant noodles the moment he appeared. It was my so-called good brother. "Hoarding, didn't you already eat? Grandma is about to starve to death. I haven't eaten in days either. Leave this for us." The young man sent his own father flying with a kick. "You two pieces of trash think you deserve to eat? There's an old woman about to die in the house. And you, a cripple who can't even handle base missions. Son, you're right. These two useless things are just wasting food by being alive. From now on, Mom and I are living separately. We're not living with you two losers anymore. We're the only true family here. Son, I'm your biological father. Back then, to give you a better life, I went to the big city and married into your mother's family, enduring all that humiliation. Have you forgotten all that?" Han Ying's father crawled toward his son, hugging his son's leg and begging, hoping the other would give him just a little bit of food. "You of all people have the nerve to speak? If you hadn't fathered that little bitch. Before the apocalypse, I almost had that house in my hands. Why would my wife get an abortion and leave me otherwise?" Han Ying kicked his father hard. Before long, he had kicked the man until he was coughing up blood. He had no intention of showing mercy. Just as Han Ying's father was being beaten to his last breath, someone shouted out, "Captain Liu is here." Han Ying only stopped when he heard that. Then, ignoring whether his father lived or died, he dragged his mother, who still had some value, away with him, leaving only Han Ying's father lying on the ground, covered in blood. At this moment, he was filled with regret. Why did he ever give birth to Han Ying? That beast of a son. Suddenly, he remembered his daughter. If Manhwa were still here, it definitely wouldn't be like this. He was a man who had climbed his way up from a remote rural area to gain a foothold in the city. He married in my mother's family. But before marrying my mother, he had already held a wedding in his hometown and had a son. That's why, when I was very young, he was often not at home. My mother never said anything about it. Later, he brought his mother up from the countryside. That was my wicked grandmother. That old hag bullied my mother constantly. Back then, I was only 5 years old, but I acted like a wolf cub, rushing over to bite her. Growing up without a father, I had to protect my family. I had to protect my mother. Han Ying's father knew my personality well. Once I consider someone my people, I won't allow anyone to harm them. Later, my mother died in a car accident. He immediately and conveniently brought his wife and son from the countryside to the city, and I completely became an outsider. At this moment, I stood quietly in the distance, watching. From the moment he decided to abandon me, this ending was already destined for him. Right then, Han Ying's dying father suddenly raised his head. Among the approaching crowd, he saw a familiar figure. A young woman standing beside the base manager, Lu Qian. Behind her followed a group of base guards. She looked so noble, so completely out of his reach. Han Ying's father tried to crawl toward me. He opened his mouth, but couldn't call out my name. Lu Qian noticed something was wrong and turned to look at me. Do you know them? I shook my head nonchalantly and walked quickly forward. Captain Liu, how does your base usually handle matters like this? Internal base management isn't under my jurisdiction, but if there is a murder, the murderer must die. I've roughly guessed the situation. The base is already short on supplies. Han Ying's father has been beaten to this state. He definitely won't survive. Captain Liu, why haven't you arrested them yet? The man just now probably won't live for more than a few days. You should arrest the attacker first. Lu Qian heard this and found it very reasonable. Arrest the person who just did the beating. Once the victim dies, they will be executed immediately. The base guards immediately went to chase down Han Ying and his mother. You don't need to think to know their fate. It certainly won't be anything good. I took a stroll around the market, gaining a deeper understanding of base K1. To describe it in one word: terrible. They took in a large number of refugees without a plan. The internal resources are extremely scarce. If it weren't for that group of soldiers constantly going out to find supplies, this place would be fundamentally unsustainable. In the end, it's because there's a severe lack of supplies here. No wonder Lu Qian was so determined to go to such a distant grain reserve to find supplies. Miss Manhwa will set off early tomorrow morning. Get a good rest. Lu Qian arranged for me to stay in a spare room in his villa. Su Zhaoyang was in the room next door. We could support each other. Just as I was about to close the door, he called out to me again. I noticed you didn't eat much tonight. There are some cookies in the drawer of your room. You can eat them if you're hungry. After he left, I did indeed find a box of high-end cookies in the room's drawer. This host's hospitality isn't bad. Next time he comes to my place, I'll have to treat him well too. After taking a shower, I plan to go to bed early. After all, there's a big job to do tomorrow. After the zombie outbreak, we parked our cars on the main road to rest. Unexpectedly, a large horde of zombies surrounded us at night. 6 o'clock in the morning, I woke up in the bedroom of the villa. Today, I will go with Base K1 to search for the largest grain reserve. In the east, after finishing breakfast, we went downstairs. A long convoy of vehicles was already parked outside. Besides a few pickup trucks, the remaining dozens were all super large trucks. Each truck could carry several dozen tons of grain. Miss Manhwa, you and Zhaoyang can just drive your own car. When the time comes, I'll use my trucks to carry your supplies. I nodded and led Su Zhaoyang to our car. We followed behind Lu Qian's convoy, heading towards the distant city B. This trip was a long journey. If everything went smoothly, the round trip would take at least 3 days. Along the way, we would rendezvous on the highway outside City B. We would wait for people from other bases to arrive. Then we would rest together for one night. This journey was not smooth at all. We had to clear out zombies and abandoned cars blocking the road, and we had to find easy-to-travel routes. So the convoy could only proceed in a stop-and-go manner. It took nearly 7 hours to reach the destination. By this time, it was already 3 in the afternoon. I ate some instant noodles in the car for lunch. This stuff is a rare commodity in the apocalypse. It has oil and salt, and it's filling. Soon, vehicles from other bases also arrived one after another. They were all small bases. Their vehicles were far inferior to those of Base K1. The captains of the bases got out of their cars. They all surrounded Lu Qian to greet him, wanting to exchange for some supplies from Base K1. At this moment, I slowly walked over. Lu Qian turned his head and introduced them to me. Her name is Manhwa. She's from Shang-Xia base. Hearing this name, everyone showed a look of confusion. It was clear they had never heard of this base's name. Lu Qian quickly spoke up for me. Their base is quite low-key. When these words reached everyone's ears, they immediately took on a different meaning. Low-key? Then it seems it's a very small base. Sure enough, someone quickly asked, Captain Manhwa, how many people did your Shang-Xia base bring? 2 people, I replied flatly. As soon as I said it, I could clearly see their disdainful looks intensify. Only 2 people came? How small must this base be? Out of respect for Lu Qian, they didn't say much. They turned back to surround Lu Qian, asking about the base's resources. I sat on a highway guardrail nearby. Just as I was feeling bored, a tomboyish girl with short hair, dressed like a boy, walked over to me. Did you really build a base? I looked up. I was met with a face tanned by the sun. You could hardly see any feminine features. Who are you? My name is Gue Yuru. I'm a fire-type ability user. I came with my brother, Gue Zhe, from Shang-Xia base. Our base is in Dang Village, north of City B. Shang-Xia, water type. I gently shook her hand. Her hand was warm, as if wrapped in a layer of fire. Just then, the roar of engines came from behind. Another convoy arrived. It was Hope Base, one of the 3 major bases. This convoy was entirely white. It looked like the fleet of a large, professional corporation. In reality, that was exactly the case. They only recruited scientists. The founding members all came from a massive technology company. It truly was a gathering place for the elite. In their eyes, ordinary people were just a waste of resources. In the apocalypse, supplies were scarce. Instead of feeding ordinary people who made no contribution, they preferred to concentrate resources on the elite, especially their manager, Kui-sung. His name is on the list of the 10 most ruthless people. In his eyes, every person was like a piece of merchandise. 7 people in white uniforms stepped out of the vehicles. The leader was a young man in his 20s. The others followed closely behind him. The 4 captains of the small bases, who had been surrounding Lu Qian, immediately crowded around to fawn over him instead. That person must be Chi Sang. My brother is so boring. If he has that kind of time, he should go kill zombies and find supplies. Instead, he just has to crowd around and suck up to people. I couldn't help but laugh. I waved my hand, signaling her to sit beside me. Then I took a handful of melon seeds from my interspatial pocket and handed them to her. How many people are in your base? Over 200. They're all relatives from my village and the neighboring ones. Few young people, mostly the elderly. Then how could your brother not rush to cling to a big shot's thigh? If he's late, he won't even be able to grab a pair of their underwear. That's not right. I think relying on anyone is useless. In the apocalypse, you can only rely on yourself. This girl's personality really suited me. While the 2 of us were chatting happily, a voice rang out from the crowd. All right, getting to know each other is enough. Captain Liu, didn't you say 7 small teams were coming today? There's still Shang-Xia base. The one who came with me is the manager of Shang-Xia base. Manhwa. A group of people turned their heads in unison to look. They saw me and Ji Yuru sitting cross-legged by the roadside, cracking melon seeds. They were all stunned. Lu Qian knew my personality, so he suggested, let's go over and say hello. No need. Chi Sang glanced at me. That look held no warmth whatsoever. It was like looking at an object. Then he quickly walked away. You all come over here and register. Record everyone's information. Later, food will be distributed based on your contribution level on the road. Of course, Captain Liu doesn't need to. We'll stick to our previous agreement. Not long after, Lu Qian brought a form over to me, saying it was for our Shang-Xia base. I took the form and glanced at it. The information required was extremely detailed. Name, hometown, job before the apocalypse, and even details about abilities, base scale, organizational structure. It was all confidential information. This time, Hope Base is providing the map. You guys are providing the firepower, right? Correct. So how are your supplies being divided? Hope Base gets 4 parts. I get 4 parts. The remaining 2 parts are for the other bases, divided according to contribution. Manhwa, you don't need to lift a finger this time. Just follow me and you'll get your share of supplies. Don't try anything funny. I nodded. Fine. You're the one who said I don't need to act. I shoved the form back to Lu Qian. The sky was gradually getting dark. I got into the car alone to rest. I was too lazy to set up a tent, so I just reclined the back seat and slept inside alone. Su Xiaoyang set up a small tent outside the car to keep watch for me. Not long after I closed my eyes, I heard a rustling sound. Something was dragging across the grass. I released my spiritual power and very quickly sensed a dense horde of zombies surrounding us. I immediately opened the car door and shouted at the tent outside, Xiaoyang, get up. Su Xiaoyang heard the noise. 3 seconds later, he rushed out of the tent. By the 4th second, I had dragged him into the car with one hand. Just as we closed the car door, the first scream rang out from outside. There's zombies. We're under attack. After the zombie outbreak, we parked our cars on the main road to rest. Unexpectedly, a large horde of zombies surrounded us at night. Soon, I heard screams outside. Su Xiaoyang and I were in the car. Unless it was absolutely necessary, I wouldn't get out. 1. I trusted in the strength of Lu Qian's team. He should be able to handle this small number of zombies. 2. He had said that I didn't need to do anything for this operation. Su Zhaoyong, on the other hand, was extremely anxious. After all, his old comrades were out there. He really wanted to get out and help. If you want to go, then go. But be careful. You don't need to worry about me here. With my permission, Su Zhaoyong immediately rushed out. He joined the ranks of his old comrades. They fought shoulder to shoulder again. The zombies outside attacked in wave after wave. Besides me and Hope Base, no one else stayed in their cars. Everyone else had joined the defensive battle. I used my mental power to sense a bit. I found that they were all level 1 zombies. I immediately lost interest. I turned over and went back to sleep. When I woke up again, it was already light. The zombies outside had long been cleared away. As soon as I woke up, I used my mental power to sense the situation outside. The road was covered with zombie corpses. People from the various bases were busy digging out zombie crystal cores. They were also cleaning up the mess. I scanned the scene. Most of the people were the common ability users I had met yesterday. It wasn't until I scanned Hope Base's convoy. They had a total of 7 people. 4 spatial type. 1 was fire type. 1 was a strength type ability user. And the last one was their captain, Cuisson. When I tried to sense more deeply, I was suddenly blocked by a needle-like barrier. It's a control type ability. I was surprised. This is a variant of the mental type ability. It has the ability to absolutely control people or objects within its domain. It's just that his ability's domain is very small. He can't do what I can, which is extend my mental power infinitely and even attack from a distance. Qi Sang sensed that he was being watched. He immediately got out of the car. He scanned his surroundings. His eyes were full of seriousness. He knew that there was someone with very strong mental power in the team this time. But he couldn't find me at all. My mental power had long since retreated from there. As soon as I got out of the car, an annoyed person walked over. Did your base not come out to kill zombies yesterday? His voice attracted the attention of people from other bases nearby. At this moment, everyone realized. That's right. I was asleep yesterday, faced with the troublemakers. I said lazily. The person opposite me was furious when he heard this. You were asleep? Do you know that all of us were fighting a bloody battle yesterday? We sacrificed several brothers. And you were hiding here, sleeping? So what? Didn't my subordinate go out? What's the use of just one person? How many zombies could he kill? At this moment, Su Zhaoyong stood up. Yesterday, I killed 216 zombies. Here are 72 crystal cores. The person opposite was immediately speechless. Perhaps they had also witnessed Su Zhaoyong's prowess yesterday. He alone killed more than their entire small base combined. Sometimes, it's not about having more people. Isn't that right? I took the crystal cores and asked back. This time, the person opposite was trembling with anger. But they thought I was a woman who was easy to bully, completely relying on Su Zhaoyong's strength. Hope Base didn't have anyone come out either. Why don't you go ask them? A group of people looked at each other. It was clear they didn't dare to offend a large base. They wanted to bully me so that our base would get a smaller share of the grain. Just then, Lu Qian came over and asked what had happened. Those few people recounted my crimes once again. They wanted Lu Qian to judge for them. Lu Qian looked at me with a headache. He reluctantly explained for me. Captain Manhwa probably really was asleep yesterday. She didn't hear. The others wanted to vomit blood when they heard this. Lu Qian's favoritism was too obvious. But they were not convinced by me. They were very convinced by Lu Qian. If Base K1 hadn't turned the tide, who knows how many people would have died last night. Let's just leave it at that. They're the people I brought. All their work can be considered as my Base K1 doing it for Shang-Xia base. When everyone heard this, they had no choice but to drop it. Even though I was a freeloader, I had Lu Qian as a strong backer. I don't think this should be calculated this way. Qi Sang from Hope Base suddenly stood up. Moreover, while speaking, he deliberately released his control ability, trying to find that powerful mental ability user on the scene. The people from the other small bases, facing Qi Sang's ability, felt an immense, invisible pressure. They showed looks of discomfort. The only ones immune to Qi Sang's aura were Lu Qian and me. For me, it was because my mental power was stronger than his. For Lu Qian, it was purely because his ability was stronger. Captain Qi, what are you trying to do? Lu Qian was very displeased. He could feel that Qi Sang was attacking everyone. When Qi Sang heard Lu Qian speak, his gaze lingered on him for a few more seconds. He showed a look of suspicion. Then he retracted his domain. I was thinking about what Captain Liu just said. I don't think it should be calculated your way. Just because you did their work for them, they get a free pass? Our operation this time is to divide supplies based on contribution. If you have made no contribution whatsoever, then you get no supplies whatsoever. It doesn't matter who brought you. He gave me a cold glance, devoid of any emotion. At this moment, Lu Qian stood in front of me. Say no more. Shang-Xia base will be merged into my base K1. Her supplies. Our base K1 will provide her share. When the man heard him speak, his cold eyes darkened a few shades. Since Captain Liu has said so, I have nothing more to say. He led his people and turned away. The other small teams also thought this decision was not bad. They dispersed one after another. As soon as everyone left, Lu Qian turned his head to look at me. Manhwa, don't be angry. Everyone, no need to explain. After all, I'm just following you to get a free meal. Why would I be angry? I'm not a silly girl. Although I saved Lu Qian twice, he brought me along for a free meal without making me do any work. This favor was more than enough. I naturally wouldn't be angry with him. But that Qi sang, I'll remember him. I've always been a petty person. The morning's events quickly passed. Everyone began to assemble their teams. We continued to advance. The mighty convoy set off for the grain reserve. Although last night's battle was tragic, correspondingly, the main zombie horde on the road ahead had been cleared. The rest of the journey was incredibly smooth. But I always had a premonition. The grain reserve would surely hold a greater danger. At that time, it would be every man for himself. After the zombie outbreak, we arrived at the National Grain Reserve. Unexpectedly, there were mutated zombies here. The locations of grain reserves are all chosen in places far from residential areas. The surroundings are sparsely populated, so there aren't many zombies here. We're here. Is this our grain reserve? How much grain must be in here? One warehouse holds 5,000 tons. There are 10 warehouses here. Doesn't that mean 50,000 tons? That's enough for all the people in our bases combined to eat for 100 years. We first surveyed the environment outside the grain depot. After confirming there was no one outside, we entered the staff building. Surprisingly, the inside of the staff building was also unusually quiet. Not a single zombie was seen. It was so quiet it was a bit eerie. We first entered the first grain warehouse, seeing the grain piled up like mountains. Everyone was overjoyed, but this joy didn't last long. The second grain warehouse we saw, the grain was all moldy. Several months had passed since the beginning of the apocalypse. Without management, grain easily gets moldy, and once it starts, the whole warehouse goes bad. It's completely inedible. By the time we had gone through all 10 super large grain warehouses, we found that most of the warehouses were already moldy. There were only 2 warehouses with intact grain. In other words, there are only 10,000 tons of grain that could be distributed. In this apocalypse, that's not bad at all. After all, grain has an expiration date. I'll reiterate the issue of grain distribution. Base K1 and I will each take 4 parts. We'll take ours first. The rest of you will take according to the ratio I've calculated. Any problems? Qi Sang acted like a leader, distributing the grain. The people from the 4 small bases all nodded upon hearing this. Receiving 500 tons will be enough for them to eat for several years. When we get back, I'll give you 200 tons separately. Lu Qian turned his head and said to me. His words made everyone around look at me. Their eyes were full of contempt. They assumed there was an improper relationship between us. Hey, Guei Yuru. See? It's true that beautiful women get all the perks. How come no one gives me any grain? Luo, what nonsense are you talking about? Manhwa is not that kind of person. Guei Yuru still had some faith in me. Just as Luo, who was about to say something else, a zombie suddenly fell from the sky. It grabbed him and flew into the grain warehouse. In an instant, a tragic scream rang out. The grain warehouse was like a quagmire. Luo, who disappeared without a trace in a flash. There are zombies hiding in the grain warehouse. Guei Yuru shouted. Everyone was startled by this sudden situation. After regaining their senses, the sound of gunfire immediately erupted throughout the scene. Lu Qian's men quickly entered a state of combat, firing at the zombies crawling on the pile of grain. But these zombies were all mutated with iron skin and copper bones. Bullets could hardly penetrate them. Moreover, their speed was very fast. Everyone, retreat to the entrance. Lu Qian shouted loudly. Everyone at the scene immediately ran towards Lu Qian. It was chaotic for a moment. Some members with abilities all unleashed them. Abilities were slightly stronger than bullets, but they could only slow down the zombie's speed a little. Just as everyone had run to the exit, a larger zombie suddenly appeared at the door, blocking everyone's path. Lu Qian unleashed the strongest lightning ability on the field, but couldn't even budge this super zombie. At this moment, there was a giant zombie blocking the way ahead, and there was no way back. What was more dangerous was that their abilities were depleted. Just when everyone thought they were about to die, a wall of water suddenly appeared in front of everyone, protecting them all. Then, the wall of water turned into countless water droplets that flew everywhere, like high-pressure bullets, piercing through all the zombies that regular bullets couldn't penetrate. The giant zombie in front was also controlled by the water droplets, unable to move, but its life was not harmed. I took the opportunity to draw my tang knife. I rushed in front of it in one step. After being enhanced by the system, my strength and speed were both incredibly terrifying. I aimed for the zombie's head and stabbed it. This giant zombie finally stopped struggling. When I pulled out the knife, a crystal core the size of a chicken egg fell from my blade. Everyone looking at me at this moment was speechless. The ability I just displayed was enough to crush them. We're both water-type ability users, but you're so much stronger than me. Shang-Xia, I thought she had an ability, but I never expected her ability to have reached this level. How many more secrets does she have? To be able to use a normal water-type ability to this extent, this woman is definitely not simple. From now on, I will distribute the grain. Does anyone have an opinion? I stood outside the grain warehouse, telling everyone to come before me. Everyone looked at each other, clearly still a bit slow to react. Chi-Sang still maintained the attitude of a leader. Captain Manhwa made a great contribution today. Everyone has seen it. It's only right to give you more. How about this? Our hope base. Base K1 and you each take 3 parts. The remaining small teams will share 1 part equally. As soon as Chi-Sang's words fell, the 4 remaining small teams all showed looks of dissatisfaction but didn't dare to speak out. Your name is Chi-Sang? That's right, Captain Manhwa. It's a pleasure to meet you. I am Chi-Sang. From Hope Base. Chi-Sang changed his previously cold attitude, formally introducing himself to me. I ignored him. Instead, I looked toward the people from the 4 small bases. You 4, did you hear that? Little Chi just said he's only giving you 1 part. Can you accept that? They thought I would definitely side with the 2 large bases, so they had no choice but to reluctantly accept. All right then, we'll go with what Little Chi said. You 4 will share 1 part. Then, I had Su Zhaoyang lead the people from the 4 bases to divide the grain. Each base gets 250 tons. After the 4 small bases were sorted out, I looked at Lu Qian again. Captain Lu, Little Chi just said he's giving you 3 parts. Can you accept that? I can. He could accept 1 less part. Besides, this part was for me. He had even less of an opinion. All right then, have your men come and take your 3,000 tons. At this moment, Chi-Sang took a step forward. He spoke up, Captain Manhwa, it's our turn now, right? I looked at him. A smile appeared on my face. Chi-Sang, although they have no objections, I have an objection. How do you want to divide it? Qui s'en fout? He had a bad feeling. I stared into his eyes. I said, word by word, the rest is mine. After the zombie outbreak, I killed the mutated zombie with a single slash. The entire National Grain Reserve is now under my distribution, facing the ever-bullying Hope Base. I didn't leave them a single kilogram of grain. Captain Manhwa, are you joking? In today's operation, what contribution did your base make? Did you kill a single zombie? Chi-Sang was momentarily a loss for words. Of course, they didn't kill any. Dangerous things like killing zombies. Their elites never did. We provided the map. If I hadn't brought you here, you wouldn't even know the location of the grain reserve. Let me correct you. You didn't bring us. You brought them. Captain Shi, surely you haven't forgotten that I was already kicked out of the operation team by you. When you were dividing the grain, there was no share for me. So how can you say you brought me here? My words landed like a heavy hammer on Chi-Sang's heart. He didn't say a word. He walked towards me, bringing with him his unique control ability domain. However, he didn't know that my mental power was much stronger than his. Before his domain could even touch me, I kicked him away. Chi-Sang flew away like a broken doll. He fell to the ground and couldn't get up for a long time. I stood over him, looking down. My voice turned cold. Let me tell you, Chi-Sang, I saved your lives. The grain is something I'm giving to you. It's not something I am sharing with you. You never had the right to negotiate with me. When Chi Sang met my gaze, his always calm heart suddenly skipped a few beats. He finally understood. In terms of strength, I far surpassed him. Just from the ability I displayed when facing the zombies earlier. He and his team members were no match for me at all. Chi Sang didn't say anything more. He and his few team members left dejectedly. Lu Qian walked over to my side. He asked, "Aren't you afraid of offending Hope Base by doing this? You should be thinking about whether Hope Base has offended me." I never took him seriously. The civilization of bases in the apocalypse is more like the law of survival of tribal civilizations. You take one step back, they could take 10 steps forward. Only by showing greater strength can you make them retreat. By the time everyone had loaded the grain, it was almost dark. Traveling at night was too dangerous, so we decided to stay here for one night. I had Su Xiaoyang take out all the pre-cooked meal packets, sausages, and instant noodles we had brought. Soon, a fragrant aroma rose from the super large pot. Because I was in a good mood, I gave Lu Qian and his team members each a bowl, as a reward for bringing me here. At night, I went to the grain warehouse alone. The warehouse was filled with 5,000 tons of grain waiting for me to collect. I placed my hand on the grain. I activated my spatial ability. All the grain was absorbed into my space. This amount of grain filled my space. At this moment, the system's voice rang out again. Detected that the space has been filled. Activating new mission. Host, increase the base's population by 10. Double the base's population. Reward, double the space area. This system is too considerate. It gives me whatever I'm lacking. I'll start recruiting people when I get back tomorrow. Early the next morning, as we were preparing to return, Lu Qian found me. Do I need to arrange for some people to stay here? To transport a few more shipments of grain back for you? You don't need to worry about it. I can handle it myself. Lu Qian looked at me with a calm expression. He probably already had an answer in his heart, so he didn't ask anymore. I was in a hurry to go back and recruit more people. I didn't talk much with him. I prepared to leave first. At this moment, Gue Yuru brought her brother over. Captain Manhwa, thank you for saving us yesterday. I saved so many people, but only these two siblings came specifically to thank me. It seems these two are quite sensible. Little girl, I really get along with you. Do you want to come with me? Gue Yuru's eyes immediately lit up, but she quickly looked towards her brother. Her eyes were full of hesitation. Of course, you can bring your brother along too. The benefits at my base are very good. Let's go together. Shinga base still needs me. I can't go. You go with Captain Manhwa. I'll be at ease. Take good care of yourself in the future. If you have time, send me a walkie-talkie message. Although Gue Yuru really wanted to go with me, she was clearly reluctant to part with her only relative. Parting in the apocalypse. It's really not easy to meet again. I threw over a piece of paper. This is my base's walkie-talkie frequency. If you think it through, you can contact me anytime. I can accept at most 30 people from your base. After saying that, I drove away with Su Xiaoyang. I'm not running a charity. I can't just accept anyone. 30 people is the limit. Because we had cleared the road on the way here, the return trip was very smooth. Soon, I returned to the shelter. I went to the control room to find Shang-Xia first. I asked about the situation at the base these past few days. When I heard that everything was fine, I was finally relieved. Next, I had to think about where to recruit people. After thinking it over, the most suitable place was Base K1. That place was already crowded. The supplies were fundamentally not enough to go around. If I want to ask for some people, I would actually be helping them reduce their burden. Xiaoyang, you stay here and guard the base. I'm going to Base K1 to return the car. Boss, then how will you get back? After I return the car, I'll have him give me a ride back. Su Xiaoyang's face was full of confusion. Isn't this just making extra work? Just send a message and have them come pick it up. But I didn't care what he thought. I drove Lu Qian's car to Base K1. I can't just say I'm going there to poach people. Around 3 in the afternoon, I drove Lu Qian's car straight through the tunnel of Base K1. In the base, I ran into Tang Jian on patrol. I explained my intentions. He was also a bit surprised for a moment. Big sis, why did you make a special trip? Later, when I'm free, I can just go to your place and drive the car back. That's too much trouble. I brought it over for you. All right then. I'll walk around with you. No need. You go to your work. I'm here to recruit people. I can't have a tail following me. Tang Jian thought for a moment. Then he took out a certificate and a pager from his pocket. Big sis, this is the certificate of our management department. If you have any problems, just show this. No one will dare to stop you. If you want to find us, use the pager. This button contacts me. This button contacts the captain. I took the items. After watching Tang Jian leave, I turned and walked towards the temporary housing area of Base K1. There are people everywhere here. Am I afraid I won't be able to recruit suitable people? Of course, I don't just accept anyone. Priority is given to people with skills. Especialista profesionales. If I can find a scientist, that would be even better. As I was observing my surroundings, I suddenly heard arguing ahead. After the zombie outbreak, while I was strolling through the base, I accidentally saved a scientific research professor. You useless thing. You're so slow at everything. You're good for nothing. I went over to take a look. I saw an old man who had been kicked to the ground. His face was pale. Beside him, a young man quickly helped the old man up. Professor, are you all right? Another young man was trembling with anger. Our professor is so old. How could you lay a hand on him? So what if we did? We're beating you useless people. Do you think this is before the apocalypse? A bunch of useless bookworms. You're just beasts. You don't listen to reason at all. You dare to scold us? Then we'll show you what beasts are like. The workers rolled up their sleeves, ready to strike. Seeing that their fists were about to land on these people, I spoke up. Stop. The manager looked at me. For a moment, he couldn't figure out who I was. Who are you? I took the certificate out of my pocket. I held it up in front of him. When he saw the words Management Department on the certificate, he immediately shrank back. Sir, we're not fighting. They're the ones who don't want to work anymore. You're lying. You're the ones who want to kick us out. Don't say anymore. The old man who was kicked down pulled his hand. He forced a smile at me. Manager, thank you. You don't need to worry about us. We won't cause any more trouble for the base. This person is quite perceptive. I can stop them once, but I can't be here all the time. After I leave, these workers will only be more outrageous. People like them, who relied on their minds to make a living before the apocalypse, now don't even have a survival advantage. Once they are kicked out of the construction team, only the most dangerous missions outside await them. What did you all do before? We were researchers at a research institute before. This is our Professor Wong. He is very famous. He has had many research achievements. What is the specific research direction? New generation of high-strength polymer materials. My eyes immediately lit up. The application field of polymer materials is too broad. Agriculture, construction, transportation, it can all be used. But this requires professional equipment and laboratories. For Base K1, which is still solving the problem of food, it's indeed not very useful. Base K1 needs people in medicine, agriculture, and those who can kill zombies. These scientists naturally became useless. But these people who are useless in their eyes are treasures to me. This is the talent I'm looking for. Professor Wong quickly pulled the young man's hand. He kept saying to me, Manager, you really don't need to trouble yourself. Before he could finish, I cut him off. All of you come with me. I will let you continue your research. You'll have meat with every meal. Professor Wong and his students were all stunned. Their eyes were full of disbelief. Sir, do you mean Base K1 is going to build a research institute? Are we finally needed? Not Base K1. I need you. Shang-Xia, the person in charge of Shang-Xia base. I will take you to my base. A few minutes later, they realized, in astonishment, that I was actually the manager of another base. I assured them, as long as you follow me, you'll have 3 full meals a day, with meat at every meal. You won't have to do other work every day. You just need to focus on your research. Moreover, I can find the research equipment for them again. After hearing this, these people looked at each other. Finally, they all looked at Professor Wong. Professor Wong pondered for a long time. Finally, he spoke. Captain Shang-Xia, we still have family. I could take all your family members. But let me be clear when you come to my base. They also have to work. I don't take in non-producers. Professor Wong was a bit confused. After all, in the apocalypse, the elderly, women, and children are the most useless. What work can they do? They could do a lot. I have fields to plant, pigs to raise. There's a lot of work. As long as you're willing to work, there's a job. Moreover, I guarantee, as long as you work hard, you'll have white rice and pork with every meal. Snacks and new clothes will not be lacking for you either. When Professor Wong heard this, his cloudy eyes immediately lit up. White rice and pork with every meal. And snacks. And new clothes? Is she talking about the apocalypse or heaven? Professor Wong discussed with a group of people for a while. In the end, only one family decided not to go with me. The man of that family was named Kong Jian. He and his wife refused to believe my words. They thought I was making empty promises. It's the apocalypse now. How can there be a base that gives meat with every meal? Base K1 is already the largest base. We've finally settled down here. There's no need to take risks. If you want to go, then go. Don't drag our Kong Jian along. How long has he been implicated by you all? The others were very angry when they heard this. But Professor Wong waved his hand. Forget it. Everyone has their own aspirations. Let's go. Go on, go. Without you, our family will live better. Kong Jian's wife was still making sarcastic remarks from behind. Soon, Professor Wong led more than 10 people towards me. They were all his students and their families. Just then, a young couple suddenly ran over from the side. They were leading a child. Professor Wong, where are you going? Can you take us with you? Professor Wong immediately looked at me. His tone was full of expectation. Captain Shang-Xia, they were the canteen staff of our research institute before. They know how to cook. Can we take them along? I looked this young couple up and down. Although they were ordinary people, and they had a young child, they looked to be in good physical condition. They are good laborers. Let's go together. Don't be foolish. She's not from base K1. Who knows what her base is like? What if you leave the base and she sells you? Besides, on what grounds can she take you away? Does she have that right? As soon as Kong Jian's wife said this, Professor Wong's group indeed hesitated. Although they didn't believe I would sell them, would base K1 let them leave just like that? I took the pager out of my pocket. I called Lu Qian. Captain Lu, I have something to discuss with you in the residential area. Come over for a bit. Wait for me for a moment. I'll be right there, Miss Shang-Xia. Was that Captain Lu just now? Professor Wong couldn't believe his ears for a moment. You all wait here. I'm asking him for people today. I'll take you away tomorrow. I'm still bragging. Captain Lu is extremely busy. Why would he come to this place to find you? You're just bluffing. However, not long after, Lu Qian strode towards me. Miss Shang-Xia, what are you doing here? Kong Jian's wife's mouth was wide enough to fit an egg. It didn't close for a long time. Her face was full of disbelief. I'm here to ask you for some people. I want to take these 21 people back to my base. Name your price. In the apocalypse, residents are an important asset of a base. It's rare to allow them to be taken away at will. But Lu Qian was very straightforward. If they are willing to go with you, then let them go. Just don't take anything that belongs to the base. I nodded, then turned to Professor Wong and the others. You don't need to bring anything. Just show up tomorrow. I will come to pick you up. It's a good thing that you can go with Miss Shang-Xia. After saying that, Lu Qian told me to go with him first. His expression was very mysterious. It was clear that something big had happened. I followed Lu Qian back to his villa. Before entering the door, I heard the sound of things being smashed and broken inside. Marshall, the evolution fluid is the future of humanity. You can't disregard the development of the base. An old, angry voice shouted. Soon, a middle-aged man in a suit, well-dressed, came out from inside. Captain Lu, you should persuade your grandfather. We each manage our own areas. Wouldn't it be good to develop the base together? Lu Qian's eyes were cold. He didn't pay any attention to him. That man noticed me instead. He asked doubtfully, who is this lady? I've never seen her before. Minister Wong, this is my guest. After Lu Qian said this coldly, he led me straight into the villa. Who was that just now? This is what I wanted to talk to you about. He is Wang Mengwei's father. Beng Li. His team has developed an evolution fluid that can enhance abilities. Just then, a grumpy voice came from the living room. Where are my cookies? Who stole my cookies? Lu Qian's face stiffened. Miss Shang-Xia, how about I take you out to eat first? At this moment, a white-haired old man in slippers came out. Although he was old, he was in high spirits. Lu Qian, did you steal my cookies? Grandpa, I have a guest. Only then did the old man notice me. His expression immediately became serious. Xiaoyan, who is this? Grandpa, she is Shang-Xia. The old man's eyes lit up. He immediately switched to a smiling face. So you're Miss Shang-Xia. I am Lu Qian's grandfather. Thank you for saving my grandson several times. It was nothing. Hello, Elder Lu. Sorry to bother you. No bother at all. Please sit down. The old man enthusiastically invited me. Then he called Lu Qian. Bring out my precious cookies to serve the guest. Oh, right. Where are my cookies? Lu Qian kept shaking his head at me. I quickly said, Elder Lu, no need to look. I don't eat cookies. Then have some tea. Xiaoyan, bring out my precious pu'er tea. Yes. Lu Qian reluctantly went to make tea. I sat on the sofa. My gaze fell on the broken pieces of a test tube on the table. What is that? Don't touch it. It's contaminated. Xiaoyan, come here and clean the table. Lu Qian brought the tea over. As he cleaned up the broken pieces, he said, Wang Li has secretly recruited a large number of ability users. He's distributing evolution fluid to them for free. He wants to confront us. This bastard. Does he even care about human lives? Elder Lu, why do you keep tolerating him? And you even gave him management authority. Miss Xia, you also participated in the incident at the pharmaceutical research factory last time. The data that Xiaoyan brought back can only be deciphered by his research team. During this time, they have extracted evolution fluid from zombie crystal cores. It's this thing. It can enhance abilities, although it has very large side effects. Only you can research it. We can't give it up. I immediately understood their difficulty. They were being held hostage. Who told them that the other party had the core technology? Evolution fluid? I'm also researching it, and it's better than yours. Elder Lu and Lu Qian's eyes widened at the same time. Their faces were full of disbelief. I pretended to take something from my pocket, but actually took a small glass bottle from my space and handed it over. I can sell it to you. 10 crystal cores per bottle. I only accept crystal cores. There are no side effects whatsoever. Elder Lu carefully examined my evolution fluid. No impuritias. No estranges med. It was a stark contrast to Wang Li's cloudy evolution fluid. Then, Lu Qian took the initiative to try a bottle. His ability was clearly enhanced. There were no side effects at all. As for Wang Li's evolution fluid, not only was its effect not obvious, but drinking it also made people irritable, gradually losing their reason. Lu Qian looked at me in astonishment. You developed the evolution fluid a long time ago. I didn't say anything. I couldn't possibly tell him that I have a system extractor, could I? 1 crystal core makes 1 bottle, and I can even add water to it. Elder Lu was so moved he was in tears. Miss Xia, you are the savior of humanity. 10 crystal cores per bottle. That's too selfless. I suddenly realized I might have underpriced it. It seems I'm still not ruthless enough, but it wasn't convenient to suddenly raise the price. After that, I became the esteemed guest of the Lu family. Elder Lu insisted on making me his sworn sister. He called me Little Sister Xia and told me to call him Brother Lu. Even Lu Qian was stunned to hear this. His seniority immediately dropped a level. Xiaoyan, go get some food for Little Xia and bring out my Mao Dai wine. Tonight, I must drink with Little Xia until we're both drunk. Brother Lu, take it easy. You're getting old. Don't drink yourself sick. It's fine. Getting to know you. It would be worth it even if I died now. Drink. Lu Qian was busy running around, his face full of helplessness. Actually, I didn't really drink. I had stored it all in my space. Late at night, Elder Lu was completely drunk. Lu Qian helped him back to his room. Only I was left sitting at the dining table. Lu Qian came over. He raised his glass, drank it all, and thanked me. No need to thank me. This is business. 10 crystal cores per bottle. Not 1 less. I still have to thank you. With your evolution fluid, Wang Li has nothing left to rely on. We no longer have to be threatened by him. Tomorrow, send a car to take me and my people back. No problem. Oh, right. Why does your grandfather like to eat cookies so much? My grandfather used to be a heavy smoker. My grandmother wouldn't let him smoke, so she bought him cookies to eat instead. After that, he developed a liking for cookies. He eats them whenever he's upset. But after my grandmother passed away, he quit smoking. He only kept the habit of eating cookies. So the box of cookies you gave me last time, you stole it from him? You really are your grandfather's good grandson. At night, I was arranged to stay in a spare guest room. I slept soundly. Early the next morning, Elder Lu personally saw me off. He held my hand and told me to visit often. Lu Qian gave me a bag of crystal cores, a total of 1,000. He told me to go back and make evolution fluid for him. The car left base K1. Along with it was a large passenger bus, carrying Professor Wang and the others. These were the residents he had promised to give me. The car quickly reached the woods on the outskirts of the shelter. I told him to wait here. I would go inside to get the evolution fluid. After entering the shelter, I took out 50 bottles of evolution fluid. I added water to all of them. They became 100 bottles. In total, I used 50 crystal cores. I profited 950. This made me feel like I wasn't a loss anymore. But I didn't feel guilty at all. Although my evolution fluid was diluted, its effect was still the best on the market. I handed all 100 bottles of evolution fluid to Tang Jian, who was waiting outside, and I told him to tell Lu Qian when he got back to collect more crystal cores in the future and exchange them with me. The price is absolutely fair. 6 o'clock in the morning, I woke up on time in the shelter. Today, I'm going to a high-tech zone in the city. After a simple breakfast with Su Xiaoyang, we prepare to set off. This mission is quite dangerous. We drove the armored vehicle swiftly on the deserted road. The lane into the city was quite empty. There were only a few scattered zombies. On the contrary, the road out of the city on the right was jammed with traffic. The wreckage of crashed cars stretched for miles. These were all cars that were preparing to leave the city at that time. Occasionally, zombies blocked the road. The armored vehicle directly rammed them away. The vehicle's speed didn't decrease at all. It charged straight towards City A. Since the day the apocalypse broke out, after escaping from City A, I had never set foot in it again. I knew very well the zombies there, numbered not just in the thousands, but tens of thousands. If there wasn't a compelling reason to go, I would absolutely not take the risk. The main reason was that last time, I had accepted a group of scientists into the base. Among them was Professor Wong, who specialized in polymer materials. I remember in my past life, not long after the zombie outbreak, a deep freeze followed. In the first winter, many people froze to death. And now, although our base is not afraid of the cold, if those crops freeze to death, the residents in the base will not be able to survive either. Fortunately, Professor Wong's research can create insulated greenhouses. Now, we just need to go to the Research Institute to retrieve their necessary equipment to safely get through this cold winter. Professor Wong's Research Institute is not in the city center, but in the high-tech zone on the outskirts. It's about 3 kilometers from the city entrance. As soon as we entered the territory of City A, the zombies wandering on the roadside were alarmed. They gathered from all directions, chasing after the car. City A, deadly after the apocalypse. The roofs of the tall buildings were covered with grass. The shorter buildings were covered with vines. Among the shops along the road, only the food stores were broken into. The rest were tightly closed. The road was full of abandoned vehicles, covered in a thick layer of dust. Besides the wandering zombies, not a single living creature could be seen. It had clearly only been half a year since the apocalypse broke out, but this city had declined as if a century had passed. Everywhere was in ruins. The car sped along. Finally, we reached the high-tech zone. On that day, the outbreak happened in the early morning. It wasn't working hours yet, so there weren't many zombies here. Xiaoyang, I'll go open the gate in a bit. You park the car in the courtyard of the research building. Stand guard at the door. Don't let any zombies in. Su Xiaoyang didn't say a word. He quickly found the independent research building that Professor Wong had mentioned. The courtyard had its own main gate and a guard booth. The car stopped at the gate. I quickly jumped down. Before the zombies could catch up, I rushed into the guard booth. The zombie guard inside saw me. It rushed overexcitedly. I reached out through the window. I took care of it with one strike. After entering the guard room, I turned on the main gate switch. This kind of research institute usually has a backup power source. As the iron gate slowly opened, Su Xiaoyang floored the accelerator. He drove the car inside. The zombies hadn't caught up yet. I closed the gate again. The iron gate came down. 20 or 30 zombies were blocked outside. They clung to the iron gate, roaring. Their gray-white hands clung to the gate, making it shake. Xiaoyang finished them quickly. I didn't care about the zombies outside. There's no end to killing them. More will swarm over later. We only have half an hour. We have to finish moving the things before the iron gate is broken down. The access control system of the research building requires swiping a card or entering a password. I entered the number Professor Wong gave me. The door indeed opened. This building has a total of 6 floors. The first and the 4th floors are research labs. The 5th and 6th floors are offices. All the rooms use the same password. I told Su Xiaoyang to go ahead and open each room and deal with the zombies who had been working overtime inside. I followed behind, using my space to collect the supplies. Equipment, desks, chairs, even the trash cans. Nothing was wasted. After Su Xiaoyang cleared the first floor, he was about to help move things. But as soon as he entered, he saw that I had already cleared everything out. It's a spatial ability I just awakened. From now on, let me handle the transportation of supplies. I couldn't be bothered to hide it anymore. Although my space is my ultimate trump card, I completely trust my little brother, Su Xiaoyang. Su Xiaoyang's eyes widened. So you have dual abilities? Water and space? That's right. But for now, others don't know. He was clearly very excited, but he still said firmly, Boss, rest assured, I will absolutely keep it a secret. You're my person. Of course, I trust you. Hurry up and go open the doors upstairs. While you're at it, gather the supplies in one place to make it easier for me to collect. Su Xiaoyang immediately rushed upstairs. His movements were twice as fast as usual. I could feel that his loyalty to me had increased again. I collected supplies floor by floor. In less than 10 minutes, I had collected all the supplies in the entire building. Everything has been moved. I nodded. Just as I was about to leave, I suddenly heard a cry for help from the rooftop. There's someone on the rooftop. Let's go up and take a look. Following the passage, we quickly reached the rooftop. They had opened the iron door here. They just didn't dare to go out. There were 6 survivors hiding on the rooftop. I really don't know how they survived for so long in the apocalypse. Do you want to come with me? They saw us driving an armored vehicle, coming and going freely. They naturally understood our strength. They all nodded in agreement. A few minutes later, our armored vehicle had entered the road into the city. Just like when we arrived, we plowed our way out of the city. The armored vehicle drove directly into the villa area of Shang-Xia base. Dozens of residents I had previously accepted lived here. Do you want to join my base? Become my residents? They saw the prosperous scene before them. There was simply no reason to refuse. They nodded like chickens pecking at rice. At this moment, the system's voice rang in my head again. Detected that the base has 6 more residents. Reward, 600 points. Reward, special attribute for residents. Strength boost. Last time, after Professor Wong and the others joined, I completed the system's mission. My space capacity doubled. As for these 6 people this time, what satisfied me was that they were all employees of a pharmaceutical factory. Among them, 3 had graduated with a medical degree. This directly compensated for the base's weakness of having no medical personnel. In the future, if anyone has a headache or a fever, there will be someone to help. After handing them all over to Wang Yumin, I went to an empty villa by myself. I took out all the computers and equipment. I had Su Xiaoyang bring Professor Wang over. When he saw these things, he was so moved his eyes turned red. Lord, I thought I would never touch these things again in my life. From now on, you can stay here with peace of mind. I can not only give you a chance to survive, but also allow you to continue your research work. Lord, rest assured, I will definitely finish the greenhouse quickly. I nodded, calculating the time. The deep freeze is coming soon. We must hurry.